Hello guys, welcome to Shadow Manhwa Teller channel. The story begins in the immortal world, in a place known as the Gravel Desert. A group of girls is seen running for their lives, trying to escape from level 3 desert wolves. One of them, a level 3 priestess, exclaimed in frustration that their luck was awful today. They had come here only to hunt some level 1 sand scorpions, but out of nowhere, these powerful wolves appeared. Panicking, she asked the team leader what they should do. The leader quickly ordered them to climb and hide in the trees, saying that their chances of survival would be higher there. Meanwhile, leader was silently thinking to herself. She knew how strong level 3 wolves were. Even though all 3 of them were at level 3, they couldn't defeat the wolves alone, not without teaming up perfectly. She prayed silently, "Please God, save us, otherwise, this could be our last day." Just then, the group's sorceress slipped and fell. The desert wolves immediately charged toward her to attack, but before the wolves could strike, someone else appeared out of nowhere, and took them down in a single blow. Shocked, the sorceress turned around to see who had saved her. To her disbelief, it was just a level 1 newbie. She muttered in shock, "Did a beginner just save me?" As it turns out, this mysterious guy wasn't just anyone, he was the main character of our story. Looking around at the remaining wolves, the protagonist calmly said, "These level 3 bugs won't take me long to finish." With that, he charged straight at them, and in a single strike, wiped out the entire pack. The girls stood there in stunned silence. Is he really just level 1? Even the leader was amazed. To defeat all those wolves in one attack, this guy is something else. Just as they finally began to breathe in relief, another massive group of wolves appeared. The girls panicked again, shouting that they had to run. They believed the wolves had come to avenge their fallen packmates, and facing this many enemies gave them no chance of survival. The leader shouted to the boy, "Get out of here. These wolves could destroy an entire village. There's no way you can handle them all alone." The boy simply smiled and said, "Is that so?" Then he opened up his system. The system prompted, "Player Lin Yuan, would you like to summon your skeleton warriors?" Without hesitation, Lin Yuan replied, "Soldiers, it's time to wake up." With that, he summoned his undead army. A portal opened, and out marched an entire squad of level 3 skeleton soldiers. Lin Yuan gave them a cold command, "Show no mercy, tear them all apart." Together with his skeletal warriors, he launched a brutal counterattack. In just 15 minutes, they wiped out every last desert wolf. The system announced, "Congratulations, host, you have defeated 16 desert wolves. You've earned 160 experience points, along with their fangs and hides as loot." One of the girls, still in disbelief, asked, "Captain, we're not dreaming, right? He really just took down all those powerful wolves by himself?" As they approached him, the sorceress asked curiously, "Brother, are you a mage? Was that summoning magic you just used?" "To be honest, I'm a mage too, but I've never seen skills like those before." Lin Yuan simply replied, "Who said I was a mage?" She was stunned. "Wait, if you're not a mage, then who or what are you?" That's when Lin Yuan finally revealed the truth. He wasn't a mage, he held a SS rank forbidden class. Lin Yuan was a level 2 necro hunter, someone reborn into this world from another planet, Blue Star. He explained that 3 years ago on Blue Star, scientists had detected a massive celestial body approaching them. They named it the Dark Star. Just 3 months after that discovery, a mysterious company launched a holographic game called Immortal World. A game so advanced, it surpassed all existing human technology and shook the entire globe. Using special VR headsets, humans entered the game, each receiving random classes. They fought monsters, leveled up, and grew stronger. At first, people believed it was just a game, nothing more. Nobody took it seriously. That was until one day, everything changed. A girl who used to play the game somehow started using her in-game powers in the real world, and soon, many others emerged, players who could wield real powers outside the game. These people were called the Chosen Ones. With power came corruption. Evil intentions began to surface within humanity. Cults formed inside the game and began worshipping cosmic evil gods. Many of these cultists started killing people in the real world. Humans, who once stood united, turned against one another. Civil war broke out among humanity itself. Some chose the path of righteousness, others descended into chaos and darkness, and like with all wars, the cost was devastating. Countless lives were lost. Lin Yuan's own parents were among the casualties. Despite several attempts, humanity failed to defeat the demonic cults. They sent their bravest warriors to fight, but every time, they returned defeated. Lin Yuan was among those warriors. In the final battle against the cult, he too was killed, but somehow, an hour ago, he opened his eyes again. He realized he had returned to the exact moment he first entered the Immortal World game. Only this time, the game didn't give him a regular class. Instead, he was granted a SS rank forbidden class, Necro Hunter. This class gave him 2 extraordinary talents, Dark Summoning and Gate of the Underworld. both at the highest rank, and this time, Lin Yuan had one goal: to level up quickly, become strong enough to protect his planet and his family, and never let anyone or anything threaten them again. No matter how powerful the danger, it would never surpass him. As the story continues, Lin Yuan activates dark summoning. Suddenly, all the fallen demon wolves begin to rise from the ground. Lin Yuan explained that the best part about his class was not just the overwhelming physical strength, far superior to any ordinary warrior, but also his ability to turn all fallen monster corpses into zombies using his summoning skill. These undead soldiers would fight for him like loyal servants. Even more incredible, once revived, they retained the same strength and abilities they had when they were alive. He also revealed a new skill he had acquired, Death Physique, which allowed him to use his undead army far more efficiently in combat. And when it comes to my other ability, Gate of the Underworld, it lets me store all the monsters I summon. The more I level up, the larger my army becomes, and the more monsters I can store. It's like I've been given a cheat code in this life, an undead army that never tires and never loses. As long as I keep leveling up, my army will remain unstoppable. The team leader, still in shock, exclaimed, "You just revived all of them as zombies? I've never seen anyone use a skill like that. Who even are you?" But Lin Yuan ignored their questions. Instead, he muttered, "If I've timed this right, he should be arriving any moment now." Just then, the system issued a global alert, World Boss Alert. The dire wolf is about to enter the gravel desert. All players should prepare for battle. Lin Yuan looked up and said calmly, "It's time to take down a boss." Meanwhile, a strange moisture began to sweep across the desert. The players began to panic. Moments later, a massive portal opened in the sky, and from it, the dire wolf slowly descended into the desert. One player screamed, "It's coming straight toward us. Run before it gets close. Anyone within 50 meters will be killed instantly." But it was too late. Not everyone could escape in time. The dire wolf landed and instantly unleashed destruction upon the area. System message: the dire wolf is a level 6 world boss. One player, devastated, cried out, "That bastard killed my brother. I'll make sure he pays." His teammates tried to restrain him. "Don't be crazy. That's a world boss. You can't take him on alone. It's suicide." Other players were shaking with fear. So this is the power of a world boss? It's on a whole other level compared to normal monsters. Only an idiot would dare face something this strong head-on. Just then, someone shouted, "Hey, look, someone's walking toward it." Everyone turned to see who it was, and to their surprise, it was none other than Lin Yuan. One player pointed at him and said, "That sword, that's standard issue for level 1 players, right?" Another added, "Yeah, that guy's gotta be crazy. No way a level 1 newbie just walks up to a level 6 world boss. Let's get out of here before this idiot angers the boss and gets us killed." They began to retreat, murmuring amongst themselves, "Everyone knows how monster rankings work in the immoral world. The weakest are ordinary monsters, followed by elite, leader, lord, king, overlord, and finally, god tier. Even the weakest world boss is at least lord tier. A newbie can barely take on an ordinary monster, and he's walking straight toward a lord tier beast. He's dead for sure." As Lin Yuan stepped forward, the dire wolf also prepared to strike. A player on the side shouted, "Hey newbie, get out of there. You're gonna get yourself killed." But Lin Yuan stayed calm. "Don't worry. A level 6 monster like this can't do anything to me." Then he smirked and added, "You know, last time I saw you, you looked terrifying. But now, you look weak. Seems like you're not doing so well." Enraged, the dire wolf roared and attacked with its claw, aiming directly at Lin Yuan. But he swiftly dodged the strike. The boss lunged again, this time using Death Claw, trying to land a fatal blow. Lin Yuan thought back to his past life. "I remember this fight clearly. I was here, in this same desert. Back then, a group of level 3 players teamed up and tried to take it down. I joined in too, but I ended up seriously injured. But this time, things are different." He clenched his fist. "In this life, I know I'll face many battles, but I won't walk away from each one wounded like before. No, from now on, with every fight, my enemies will regret crossing me. I'm no longer the one who fears the fight. Now, I'm the one people fear." As he said that, Lin Yuan once again dodged the incoming attack with lightning speed. The other players, watching in disbelief, muttered, "We've gotta admit, this newbie is fast." The world boss, frustrated at missing again, became visibly enraged. System alert, the world boss is furious. Stay alert. Just then, Lin Yuan activated his Gate of the Underworld. He raised his hand and commanded, "Come forth, my army, it's time to hunt." As his zombie wolves emerged from the portal, every player on the field stood frozen in shock. One player said, "Is it just me, or does that gate look really weird?" Someone asked, "Wait a second, is he summoning zombies?" A third player chimed in, "You're all wondering whether he can control them, but I'm thinking, how did he kill that many zombies by himself?" They all looked on in disbelief. Those wolves are all level 3, a pack like that could destroy an entire village, and he took them all down alone? Meanwhile, Lin Yuan was thinking, even though I've only been awake in this world for an hour, the sheer number of monsters I've killed is about to push me to level 3. Once I hit it, my gate will be able to store up to 30 monsters. I feel like I'm leveling up slower than I expected, but that's okay. With a powerful team at my back, I won't have any trouble in the future. Suddenly, his zombie wolves charged at the world boss, but the boss swatted them away effortlessly. As the world boss moved in to strike one of the wolves, Lin Yuan smirked and muttered, "Now's the perfect time to strike. I've completely distracted him. He's too busy attacking my wolves to notice anything else. If I attack now, he won't even see it coming." Seizing the moment, Lin Yuan launched a devastating attack straight at the world boss. Roaring in anger, the boss locked onto Lin Yuan and started chasing him. Lin Yuan thought to himself, "Now that I've drawn his attention, all my wolves will get free hits on him. The more they attack, the angrier and more distracted he'll become. Our levels are still pretty low, so our attacks don't deal much damage. Each of my wolves only hits for 15 damage, and this boss has 3,400 HP. But the good part is, I have a lot of wolves. Their combined damage will slowly but surely wear him down." He kept commanding the wolves to strike, again and again. Watching this unfold, the other players were in awe. Damn, this guy's actually really good at fighting. Yeah, he doesn't look like someone fighting a Lord tier world boss. How the hell is a level 1 player this skilled? Further back, a group of shady players, clearly thieves, were whispering among themselves, "That kid's gonna kill the boss soon, and then he'll get all the rewards. Once that happens, we'll rush in and take everything." Then the scene jumped ahead 5 minutes. The world boss now had only 500 HP left, and just then, Lin Yuan landed a massive hit, dropping its health to just 10. Lin Yuan thought, "This feels amazing. The state this world boss is in now, it's exactly how I felt the first time I fought him. One thing's for sure, this time around is starting off strong." But just then, the thieves made their move. One of them whispered, "His HP is down to almost nothing. If we land the final blow, we'll get all the loot, and the best part? His zombies are all gone. Without them, he's nothing." Suddenly, someone shouted from the sidelines, "Watch out. Those guys are thieves. They'll kill you without a second thought." But before anyone could react, Lin Yuan eliminated all 3 of them with a single, powerful strike. He looked down at their fallen bodies and said coldly, "Idiots, what made you think I'd let you steal my kill? If I can bring down a powerful world boss like this, what chance did you have against me?" The nearby players were stunned. All 3 of those thieves were level 3. And this newbie just crushed them like it was nothing. Gotta admit, this newbie's insanely powerful. Then Lin Yuan turned back around, and delivered the final blow to the world boss. System notification, you have defeated a world boss. Reward, 480 XP and 1 soul gem. Lin Yuan reflected silently, "I've just killed my first world boss in this game. Let's see what kind of reward it drops." System announced this soul gem contains a large amount of soul energy. Collect more soul gems to exchange them at the Water Council. Lin Yuan nodded. After level 60, leveling up becomes much harder. That's when these soul gems will be crucial, and honestly, they'll be extremely useful in acquiring legendary gear too. Just like monsters, weapons in the immortal world are also ranked. The lowest tier weapons are white and black iron, then come bronze and silver. They're decent enough to handle lord tier monsters. Above that, there's gold and dark gold, strong enough to fight high level beasts. And at the top, there's epic, legendary, and mythic tier weapons. Getting your hands on one of those in this world is nearly impossible. Most newbies only start with a basic white weapon. If a newbie has even a black iron weapon, that's considered rare. He remembered, about an hour ago, using knowledge from my past life, I visited a place filled with sand lizards. After defeating them, I found a bronze chest, and inside it was a bronze tier robe. Let's see if I can find something even better this time. System announced, "Congratulations. You have defeated the first world boss in this world. You've been awarded the title, Slayer. All your stats have increased by 10%. Lin Yuan smiled to himself, thinking, in a mortal world, titles are incredibly valuable. The rarer and more prestigious the title, the better the bonuses. And now I've earned one of the best. This time, the games rewarded me with a silver chest. Let's see what's inside." He opened it, and the first item was the Moonlight Sword, a powerful silver-ranked weapon. Then came the Eye of Death, a silver tier ring, followed by several other rare artifacts. Lin Yuan grinned. "I've really gained a lot from defeating my first world boss." System announced, "By slaying the world boss, you've reached the peak of level 4. You've also received 5 bonus stat points." Lin Yuan nodded. Leveling up is one of the best parts of this game. Each time, your stats increase, making you stronger. I can confidently say that I'm now the highest level player in this desert region. Sure, I lost all my monsters in that fight, But the good news is that I can now store even more in my underworld gate. Its new limit is 40. Pressing forward, Lin Yuan activated dark summoning on the defeated world boss. System announced, you've summoned a level 6 dire wolf from the world boss's soul. Your HP has increased by 1000 points, and your attack power has gone up by 150. Staring at the dire wolf, Lin Yuan thought, now I understand why it was a world boss. Its stats are off the charts, offense, defense, and health, all outstanding. Now that it's been turned undead, it's gained extra skills, like Rage of the Undead, which puts it into a berserk mode, drastically boosting its abilities for a short time. That'll come in handy during emergencies. Sure, summoning it emptied my underworld gate, but I know this dire wolf will help me refill it quickly, and the next batch of zombies I get will be even stronger. Watching from a distance, the other players murmured among themselves, no way, this newbie just turned a world boss into one of his undead summons. And look at that gate, it's freaky. How much space must it have to absorb something that huge? Honestly, he might be more terrifying than the boss itself. As Lin Yuan glanced toward them, they all panicked and hid behind rocks. Weird. I only killed one monster, so why are they acting so scared of me? Do they really think I can't see them hiding behind a rock? He glanced at one of the fallen thieves and noticed the weapon lying beside him. A black iron sword? That's a pretty solid weapon for someone at low tier level, but honestly, it's no use to me anymore. I already have the moonlight sword. He picked up the black iron sword and walked toward the group. Seeing him approach with 2 weapons, the other players panicked. He's heading toward us. He must be out for more blood after killing the world boss. He's too fast. We can't even run. But Lin Yuan stopped in front of one of them and asked calmly, you were the one who shouted to warn me about those thieves, right? The nervous player stammered, yeah, that was me. Without saying much, Lin Yuan handed him the black iron sword. Take it, it'll help you survive. The player was shocked. You're giving this to me? But why? Walking away, Lin Yuan replied over his shoulder, because I don't need it anymore. Might as well let it be useful to someone else. The crowd stared in disbelief. Not only is he insanely powerful, but he's also got a heart of gold. He just gave away a black iron sword. That thing's worth at least 10,000 yuan in the outside world. The scene then shifts to 10 minutes later. Lin Yuan had walked a considerable distance from the battlefield when suddenly his body jolted. He opened his eyes in the real world and groaned. I knew it. My VR headset's battery ran out. Now fully back in reality, he muttered. I need to start saving up more money. If I want to keep playing properly, I'll need a better VR headset and upgraded gaming gear. This setup just won't cut it anymore. Lin Yuan continues. Immortal World is an ultra-hyper-realistic game. Every country has its own zones, and players are restricted to their nation's zones. For example, my country has 4 separate regions. First, Western Desert Kingdom, where Lin Yuan is currently located. Second, Southern Return Empire. Third, Northern Underworld Empire. And fourth, the Tidal Archipelago. After being reborn, I chose the same zone I picked in my last life. Why? Because I already know so much about it. More importantly, Lin Yuan thought, right before I died in my last life, I learned a secret, a massive, game-changing secret. I watched in horror as the entire world crumbled before my eyes. I lay on the ground, barely breathing, struggling just to stay conscious, and then, I saw something I could hardly believe. Among the attackers, one of them wore a yellow gemstone on his body. It wasn't just any gem, it was the emblem of the Western Guild. That's when it hit me. The first follower of the evil god was a human player, and he was the one who summoned the cosmic evil god into our world, the one responsible for wiping out all of humanity. There are still 3 years left before the cosmic evil god arrives in the blue star, but if I can find and eliminate that player before then, the one who became a follower and summoned the evil god, I might be able to prevent the coming apocalypse altogether. And luckily, I have a strong lead. That yellow emblem I saw in my final moments. There are many guilds in the capital city of the Western Desert, but only one guild uses yellow gemstones as their insignia. That confirms it. The guy must be from the Western Desert. The only problem is, I can't enter the capital yet. You need to be at least level 10 to get in. If I want to uncover the truth about this evil god follower, I need to level up fast. There's no other option. Sure, I have 3 years, but I know how fast time slips by. Wait a second, there's one thing I haven't checked yet. Back when the game launched, only a few players could use their in-game powers in the real world. Let's see if I can do that too. Saying this, Lin Yuan summoned his skeleton card, and to his shock, it actually worked. I can use my powers in the real world. That's incredible. Does this mean I'm one of the chosen ones? In this world, chosen ones are also called Child of Destiny. Every chosen one has a powerful class and exceptional luck. They are believed to be humanity's last hope in the war against the evil god. In my past life, I wasn't one of them. That's why I couldn't use my powers outside the game until it was too late. Only when the night of catastrophe struck, when the evil god's forces descended, did every player finally awaken their powers. But by then, it was already too late. This time, things are different. This time, I've been granted an SS ranked forbidden class, Necro Hunter, and now I'm also a chosen one. I really do have top tier luck this time around. As Lin Yuan was lost in thought, he heard voices outside his room. That's when it hit him. Wait, if I've come back in time, then that means, my parents, they're still alive. Without wasting another second, Lin Yuan rushed to the kitchen and started cooking a delicious meal for his family. At breakfast, his dad looked at the table, confused. Did something happen today? Our son never even wakes up this early, let alone cooks. His mom scolded him. Old Lin, don't be stupid. Can't you see how hard our son worked for us today? Instead of questioning it, why don't you just sit down and enjoy the meal he made? Lin Yuan smiled gently. It's strange. When you have something, you don't always realize its worth. But once it's gone, that's when you understand how precious it really was. Even if I become the strongest person in the world, it still won't compare to the happiness I feel just seeing my parents smile again. In my past life, all I cared about was a moral world. I spent my days and nights inside the game, completely ignoring real life. I cut myself off from my parents and everyone else who loved me. And because my parents truly cared for me, they never forced me to stop. Even when they knew I was making mistakes, their love kept them from saying anything. I thought I was doing the right thing, until the day I lost them, because of my own carelessness. That day, all I had left was regret, and an empty life. But this time, I won't repeat my mistakes. This time, I'll live a better life with the people I love, and I'll become stronger than ever before. Lin Yuan looked up. Hey, today's Sunday, right? Do you think Ten will come home for lunch? His mom replied, oh, she's been preparing for her entrance exams lately. She usually packs her lunch and eats at school. Yuan, if you're free today, could you take her lunch for her? If we don't send her food, she'll have to eat out. Also, this meal is delicious. When did you learn to cook this well? Lin Yuan smiled warmly. If you guys liked it this much, then I promise, I'll cook something even better next time. Seeing Lin Yuan like this brought tears to his parents' eyes. They were shocked at first, but then deeply moved. Later that day, Lin Yuan began a new routine. In the game, we don't use our real bodies, but if I want to master my powers in the future, I need to train this body too. Otherwise, no matter how powerful I become, my body won't be able to handle it. And when the time comes, I might fail against my enemies. And no matter what happens, I will not be weak in this life. After checking the stopwatch, Lin Yuan muttered to himself, I covered 50 meters in 5.5 seconds. Honestly, that's not too bad. Thanks to the magical power in my body, my performance was already far above that of a normal human, and I knew, with some effort, I could push it even further. In fact, with my current abilities, I'm getting close to a world record. Now that he had spent enough time training in the real world, it was time to return to the game. Lin Yuan re-entered the game world and found himself dropped into a new zone, Drunkstone West. The moment he landed, a trio of level 2 birds ambushed him, but with a single, clean strike, he wiped them all out. He muttered, unimpressed, only 15 points for taking down all three? That's way too low. He revived the birds using his skills and sent them out to scout for materials. Not long after, they returned, having found a group of powerful wolves. Lin Yuan said, eyes lighting up, shadow wolves? I actually like one thing about these guys. They always travel in packs. If I take them down, I'll have a solid undead army on my side. Pulling a potion from his inventory, he drank it. Immediately, his stats jumped by 10 points. Let's see how long it takes to clear these guys. With blinding speed, Lin Yuan lunged forward. Within moments, he had already taken down 4 wolves. He kept going, cutting through 10 more wolves like a storm. But soon, more monsters began to surround him from all directions. You think surrounding me makes it easier to kill me? You idiots just made my job easier. With that, he unleashed another blitz of attacks, wiping out 20 more wolves. System announced, you have defeated 40 shadow wolves. You have leveled up to level 5. Your undead army capacity has increased to 50. Lin Yuan thought, so, the higher my level, the more undead I can store. Last time, I lost all my wolves trying to defeat the world boss, but now I've built up a proper army again. He paused, thinking, maybe now, I'm strong enough to take down a level 5 monster even without using my undead army. He tightened his grip. It's time to speed up and track down that guy with the yellow emblem. Because if I delay again, everything will end up just like last time. Lin Yuan made his way to Blackstown, one of the more crowded cities he'd visited. Compared to other areas, this place is packed. He walked through a gate and entered a house. A man inside looked up and asked, who are you? What do you want? Lin Yuan thought, this man was Quincy, Blackstone's magic instructor, an NPC who teaches magic to players in the game. Master Quincy, Lin Yuan said respectfully, I've come to learn skills from you. In a mortal world, most skills are acquired either by defeating monsters or looting chests, but there are other ways to become powerful too, like learning directly from instructors scattered across the cities. Players just need to find them and ask. These instructors teach magic based on your level. They might seem unremarkable, but their training becomes incredibly valuable as you grow stronger. In fact, in his previous life, Master Quincy had been Lin Yuan's mentor. He'd learned most of his foundational skills from him, and honestly, Quincy had been amazing. Quincy smiled, pleased. A new disciple? Looks like my next few weeks are going to be profitable. Lin Yuan thought to himself, in my past life, I was a mage. I knew bits and pieces of every basic skill, but this life, my class is something entirely different. His new class, Necro Hunter, was a forbidden one, and because of that, he knew almost nothing about it. He didn't even know which spell types he could use beyond Gate of Underworld and Dark Summoning. Am I a mage? Or a warrior? From what he had observed so far, most of his abilities were magic-based. The physical strength he had seemed to be just an added bonus granted by the forbidden class, and that's exactly why I believe Master Quincy can help me again. Before mastering his Necro Hunter class, Lin Yuan knew he had to first learn all the basic spells, so that more advanced magic wouldn't overwhelm him later. I want to learn Soul Flame, Healing, and Invisibility, Lin Yuan told him. Quincy took the gold and smiled. If you've got the money, I've got no problem teaching you. With a wave of his hand, Quincy transferred the skills to Lin Yuan. System announced, congratulations, host, you've learned 3 mage class skills. First, Soul Flame, an iron rank spell, currently at level 1. Second, Healing, level 1, restores 10% of your HP when used. Third, Invisibility, level 1, lets you vanish for 5 seconds. Lin Yuan was deep in thought, realizing that until now, he had never possessed an attack skill that could strike from long range, but the addition of Soul Flame had filled that gap. He told himself that now, he could attack from a distance with ease, and defend himself up close just as effectively. It was a versatile and powerful skill. He thought that healing could keep both him and his allies alive during combat, while invisibility would be incredibly useful in desperate moments. After all, he knew he wouldn't win every battle. If he ever needed to retreat, invisibility could be a lifesaver. However, he also acknowledged that all 3 of these skills were still at a basic level. In their current form, they weren't very effective. To improve them, he would need resources, and fortunately, he knew exactly where to find them. The scene shifted. The system announced that the host had discovered the Kobold Mine in Blackenmouth. Lin Yuan remembered that kobolds were level 5 monsters who preferred to stay close to their cave. They had extremely sharp senses, especially their enhanced sense of smell, which allowed them to detect prey from a great distance. They also loved ambushing enemies in the dark, using their glowing eyes to see clearly and strike without warning. He recalled that kobold monsters usually lived in tribes, with each tribe consisting of at least 100 creatures. Whether judged by their numbers or their level, they were formidable. Taking them down would significantly increase his level, and it would also enhance his skill in using undead units. With that in mind, Lin Yuan drank a night vision potion, gaining the ability to see in the dark for the next 30 minutes. He told himself that he had come here specifically to master invisibility and Soul Flame, because he knew these skills would become critical in the future. The sooner he mastered them, the better. Lin Yuan entered the cave with his undead monsters. Even after walking for 15 minutes, they hadn't been attacked once. He noted how deep he had ventured into the mine and sensed something strange. He figured the monsters had likely set a trap, waiting silently for the perfect moment to strike. He could feel movement all around them, just beyond the shadows. Acting swiftly, Lin Yuan hurled his flames forward. The fire illuminated the surroundings, revealing dozens of kobold monsters who had captured some of his wolves. He grinned and thought, finally, I found them, my lovely kobold monsters. Now it's your turn to make me stronger. Stepping forward, he commanded, go, my wolves. Don't let a single one escape. A brutal battle broke out between the two sides. The system notified him that he had defeated 2 kobold monsters. As he fought, Lin Yuan noticed something. These monsters weren't just strong, they were clever. They actively avoided attacks, showing clear intelligence in battle. Suddenly, a group of kobold monsters lunged at him, but before they could land a hit, Lin Yuan vanished using invisibility. He reappeared behind them in an instant and took them all down in a single strike. System announced, you have eliminated the 20 monsters. He thought to himself that after using invisibility once, his mastery had already increased by 5%. If he kept using the skill like this, he was confident he'd master it in no time. However, he realized that the kobolds were still proving too difficult for his wolves to handle. It was time to summon more powerful creatures. With a confident shout, he He summoned a horde of kobold monsters under his control. Go forward and show them what level 5 monsters are truly made of. I want every weak kobold cleared out. Let's reach the dungeon boss as quickly as possible. After eliminating the remaining monsters, Lin Yuan and his undead army moved deeper into the dungeon. They came to a stop in an area filled with multiple gates. He paused and said, "There are so many doors here. They were clearly designed to confuse intruders." He suspected the dungeon boss was nearby. Just then, Lin Yuan noticed something on the wall and muttered, "Finally, I've found it." He unleashed Soul Flame toward the target. The system announced that he had just killed several slimes. Lin Yuan smirked to himself. He had suspected they were slimes, and he also knew they were the dungeon boss's food supply. If he eliminated them, the boss would definitely show up. Right on cue, the dungeon boss emerged from the cave behind them. System announced, "Monster discovered, Kobold Overseer, Elite Rank, Level 6. Lin Yuan observed the creature and said aloud, "This is the law of nature. The strong always hunt the weak, but the truth is, no one can remain the strongest forever. If you're strong enough to hunt others, there will always be someone out there ready to hunt you in return. When the time comes, even the predator becomes prey." He looked at the Kobold Overseer and added, "This monster thought I was weak and walked straight into my trap. But now, it's my prey." And with that, Lin Yuan lunged forward and grabbed the Kobold Overseer by the throat. Lin Yuan declared firmly that not everything that looked like prey truly was prey. Sometimes, even the hunter wore the disguise of the hunted. He smirked and called the Kobold Overseer a fool for falling right into his trap. Without hesitation, he grabbed the kobold and slammed it into the ground. Enraged, the Kobold Overseer charged forward again. But before it could strike, Lin Yuan had already unleashed a devastating attack. The blow was so powerful that the monster dropped to its knees in a single strike. However, the sight of their leader falling sent the other kobold monsters into a frenzy. They all charged toward Lin Yuan, filled with rage. The system warned him, "The enemy boss has activated a special skill. All kobolds are now in berserk mode. Their attack and defense have increased by 40%. Be careful, the next 60 seconds will be extremely dangerous." Lin Yuan assessed the situation and guessed there were about 40 to 50 monsters. A grin spread across his face. He said it was going to be fun fighting them, especially since he had an army of about the same size. He called out to his undead forces, "Come out now. You've all rested long enough. It's time to paint the ground red." With that, Lin Yuan summoned all of his wolves into the battlefield. He turned to his lead wolf and commanded, "World Boss, take the lead and show them just how strong your leadership truly is." A fierce battle broke out between the kobolds and Lin Yuan's undead wolves. The world boss skillfully used his powers to eliminate numerous enemies, while simultaneously confusing many with illusions and misdirection. Lin Yuan took advantage of the chaos and shouted to his team, "Now's our chance, move in." Most of them are disoriented and won't recognize your attacks. As the fight escalated, Lin Yuan managed to slay so many kobold monsters that he finally reached level 6. He smiled and admitted it had been a profitable battle. With his newly unlocked slots, he now had room for 10 more minions. It was the perfect opportunity to enslave some of the kobolds. Without wasting time, he reanimated several of the slain kobolds across various levels. Just then, he noticed a few hiding creatures nearby. "So, there's more of you left. You thought I hadn't noticed? Too bad. Your size made it impossible to escape my eyes." He rushed forward and swiftly eliminated the remaining kobolds. As Lin Yuan was clearing out the last of the enemies, a powerful strike suddenly came at him from the shadows. The system issued a serious alert. "Warning, the real dungeon boss is about to appear. Prepare yourself." From the depths of the cave, the true boss revealed itself, a level 7 kobold monster. Lin Yuan narrowed his eyes. "So you're their leader? To be honest, I've been waiting for you for a long time." Before he could make another move, the kobold boss launched a vicious surprise attack. But Lin Yuan reacted quickly and narrowly dodged the strike. Observing the situation, Lin Yuan noticed the boss's weapon had gotten stuck in the ground. It was the perfect chance to counterattack. Without hesitation, he launched a deadly strike, but to his surprise, the attack didn't have much effect. He realized what was happening. This is a boss monster. Naturally, it has far stronger defense than regular ones. Even though I landed a clean hit, my blade couldn't pierce through its body. The kobold boss recovered and lunged at him again. Once more, Lin Yuan dodged just in time. He noted that, unlike the lower-level monsters who followed predictable attack patterns, this boss fought differently, more strategically and aggressively. He concluded, "This one is far stronger than any level 6 monster I've faced. If I want to defeat it, I'll need to keep my distance and focus on long-range attacks." Determined, Lin Yuan ordered all his undead warriors to charge in. The enraged kobold boss roared and began attacking the undead horde without holding back. Lin Yuan watched in awe. This thing is relentless. Even when surrounded, it doesn't hesitate or show signs of fatigue. Still, he was confident, but I know for a fact it won't be able to withstand the swarm for long. With that, he activated a skill called Wraithhood, which significantly boosted the power of his undead army. His forces surged forward with renewed strength, launching wave after wave of attacks on the boss. This time, the damage began to show. After a short but intense exchange, the boss was forced to its knees. Lin Yuan grinned. "It's time to use my new power." He activated Soul Flame and unleashed a brutal magical attack on the kobold boss. He recalled something important. Kobolds were naturally weak against magic. Even minor magical attacks could inflict heavy damage. That meant Soul Flame would be devastating, and he was right. The kobold boss was severely injured by the single blast. Furious, it lunged at Lin Yuan with all its strength, but just before it could strike, Lin Yuan vanished using invisibility, disappearing from the boss's sight in the blink of an eye. Lin Yuan smirked as he whispered, "Looks like you've been searching for me, but unfortunately for you, I'm already behind you, and by the time you even turn around, it'll already be over." He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. He knew the boss's weakest point was its neck. That's why it had been so protective of it, never allowing anyone to get close. But in its rage, the kobold boss let its guard down. Lin Yuan took full advantage of the opening, and delivered a lethal stab to the monster's throat. The attack only infuriated the boss further, and it launched into another reckless assault. However, Lin Yuan kept dodging every strike using his invisibility skill, slipping through attacks like a ghost. He told himself, "If I want to win this, I need to lead my undead army like a true commander. Only by using them strategically can I finish this fight." The kobold boss was clearly weakening now. Even the wolves' attacks were beginning to deal real damage. Lin Yuan sighed. "This battle has dragged on long enough. It's time to end it." With that, he activated Soul Flame again and attacked. As the kobold boss's HP began to plummet, the remaining monsters charged once more, furious at the sight of their leader collapsing. Lin Yuan muttered, "I never expected this fight to last this long. Honestly, I'm starting to get bored." A fresh battle broke out between the remaining kobolds and Lin Yuan's undead. Amidst the chaos, the heavily injured kobold boss attempted to flee, but Lin Yuan spotted it immediately and blocked its path. "Did you really think you could escape while I was watching? My eyes have been on you the entire time, and there's no way I'm letting you leave here alive. The only thing exiting this cave will be your undead corpse." With those words, Lin Yuan sliced through the boss, cleaving its body in two. A system notification appeared. "Alert. You have successfully defeated the kobold boss. Reward, plus 50 experience. Due to slaying a high-level monster, you have also leveled up. Current level, 7. Lin Yuan reflected, "Level 7 already? That was fast. Guess defeating strong monsters really speeds up progress. I'm getting close to level 10 now. Once I reach it, I can finally enter the main city of the Western Desert, and start uncovering secrets from my past life." This fight hadn't just brought him a level up, his skills had also improved dramatically. Both Soul Flame and Invisibility had reached level 2, and he now had complete control over their use. Even the cooldown time had been reduced. He thought to himself, purchasing those core skills really paid off. Just as Lin Yuan was wrapping up, his eyes fell on a chest nearby. "So this is my reward for defeating the boss." A bronze chest. He opened it and was thrilled to find a skull mask, shadow gloves, and 20 gold coins. He recalled, back when the Immortal World game first launched, gold coins didn't hold much value. But over time, as battles increased and the economy evolved, even real-world banks started accepting them. These 20 coins are worth around 200,000 yuan. Not bad at all. Lin Yuan knew that no matter how much things changed, currency would always hold value, and having money was never a bad thing. Then he examined the items. Skull Mask, a bronze tier item that significantly increased stamina and strength. Shadow Gloves, a silver tier weapon that boosted both defense and attack by 30 points. He smiled. "Wow, my luck really is amazing. You don't usually get silver rank items from bronze chests. And these gloves? They're boosting both my offense and defense. Now I just need a good target to test all this power on." The scene shifted. Outside the cave, dozens of shadow wolves lay slain. Standing over their corpses was a powerful warrior, Huang Feilong, the leader of the Blood Sky Guild, currently at level 8. Feilong looked around and said, "Our training really paid off. We've become far more efficient at killing monsters than before. Just now, we took down over 30 of them in less than a minute." Another man standing beside him agreed, "You're right, brother. As long as the two of us are together, there's no one in this world who can stand against us. We'll wipe out every monster and rise to the very top of this world." That second man was Huang Feihu, Feilong's younger brother and the vice leader of the guild, a level 5 thief. Other guild members were murmuring in awe, "Our leader and vice leader are incredible. They made killing those shadow wolves look effortless. Honestly, no player right now can compete with them." as long as they're leading us, this guild will always remain the strongest. The second man nodded in agreement. You're absolutely right. Last time, the Thunder Guild gave us a lot of trouble. Back then, we were weak, and they were far too powerful. But things have changed. We've grown much stronger since then, and if we ever run into those bastards again, we'll destroy their guild completely. He paused and continued with a bitter tone. To be honest, there are two people I hold a serious grudge against. First is the Thunder Guild. We've had a long-standing rivalry with them. The second is that player, Lin Yuan. I don't know how he suddenly showed up here, but ever since he arrived, he's been causing chaos. We had planned to be the ones to kill the world boss, but somehow, he got to it before us and stole all the rewards. Now even the big guilds don't dare to show off in front of us, yet this guy thinks he can. His expression darkened as he growled, if that bastard shows up in front of me again, I'm not letting him walk away. I still can't get his face out of my head. I'll admit one thing. His luck is insane. The time he killed the world boss, we were also searching for it, but despite all our effort, we couldn't find it, and yet, that bastard managed to kill it while only being level 3. He may not have harmed us directly, but I can't help but feel furious just thinking about him. The next time I see him, I'm going to take out all of my rage on him. Just then, Huang Feilong, the leader, interrupted him. Fei Hu, calm down. How many times have I told you that in this world, we can't act recklessly? That player you're talking about, he's not someone we should take lightly. You saw it yourself. He defeated the world boss even at level 3, and despite seeing what he's capable of, you're still underestimating him? Listen, if we truly want to rise in this world and become powerful, we need to make allies, not enemies, and having someone like Lin Yuan on our side would be a massive advantage. There's a nearby kobold dungeon. I'm heading over to scout it out. You guys stay here and rest. Once I return, we'll head in together. There might even be a boss monster inside. Fei Hu clenched his fists in frustration. Big bro never scolds me, but because of that bastard Lin Yuan, I've been getting yelled at more and more. Honestly, my anger toward him keeps growing. I don't care what my brother says. If that bastard shows up in front of me, I will make him pay. He stared into the distance with fire in his eyes. I'll make sure he knows exactly who Fei Hu is. Stealing my prey, he might as well have signed his death sentence. One day, I'll kill him right in front of my brother, and show everyone just how strong I really am. Then he shouted into the air, come find me, Lin Yuan. One day, I'll end you in front of everyone. Just because you killed a world boss doesn't mean you're powerful. You were just lucky that the boss wasn't that strong. But when you face me, your luck won't save you. I am absolute power, and everyone knows, no one stands against absolute power. Just then, a guild member nearby spoke up, trying to lighten the mood. Vice leader, why waste your energy on some nobody? Let me show you something that'll help calm your mind. Fei Hu turned to him and asked, and what exactly is that? The guild member simply pointed. Fei Hu looked in the direction and froze. A beautiful girl was walking toward them, timid but cautious. He grinned. You're right. I've been wasting my time thinking about garbage. But this is something worth focusing on. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan had just emerged from the kobold cave after defeating the monsters. He looked satisfied. Now my undead army has a kobold boss among them, and I have to admit, it's easily the strongest member in my entire force. Thanks to him, I've reached level 7. That means I can now store up to 70 monsters in my underworld gate. He smirked as he reflected on how fruitful this venture had been. From now on, whenever I get the chance, I'll definitely be exploring more of these dangers. As Lin Yuan continued walking, he suddenly heard a voice nearby. He turned and saw a frightened young woman standing there. She shouted, "Don't come near me. If any of you do, I won't hesitate to fight back." Back with Fei Hu's group, one of the guild members grinned and said, "Vice leader, our luck really is amazing. Just look at that gorgeous girl walking toward us. And right when we were exhausted too, we needed something like this to help us recover." He stepped forward and spoke to her in a sleazy tone. "Don't be afraid, girl, we all just need a bit of rest, and you look like exactly what we need. You don't need to do much, just enjoy some time with us, and we'll reward you with some amazing items. If you want, you can even travel with us. Stick with us, and you'll grow powerful in no time. You'll be protected in this game. No one will dare harm you." The girl, visibly terrified, warned them again, "Stay away from me. I won't even think twice before attacking if you get too close." Ignoring the warning, Fei Hu stepped forward and tried to attack her, snarling, "You think you can attack me? Go ahead, bitch, hit me. I'm right here. Touch me if you've got the guts, and I'll show you what happens next. Just give up already. Resisting won't get you anything here." As Fei Hu prepared to do something vile, a powerful fist suddenly slammed into his face, sending him flying. Lin Yuan had arrived. He cracked his knuckles and said calmly, "Gotta say, these gloves are insane. I didn't think they'd hit this hard." Fei Hu's teammates were stunned. They couldn't believe how easily their vice leader had been knocked down. Lin Yuan chuckled and thought to himself that this artifact was truly remarkable. With it, he could easily crush trash monsters like these. Meanwhile, one of Fei Hu's men ran off, panicking. I have to find a leader no matter what. If I don't, this bastard will wipe all of us out. The other guild members stood in fear, trembling as they asked Lin Yuan, "Who even are you, kid? Do you even know who you've messed with? The ones standing in front of you are from the Bloodscar Guild, and we never forgive those who challenge us. Go do some research, you'll find out how powerful we really are. In this entire region, people tremble at the sound of our name. Some even wet their pants in fear, so you better think 100 times before picking a fight with us." But Lin Yuan wasn't impressed. He thought to himself, they're just stalling, trying to buy time. Bloodscar Guild, I've heard of them. In my past life, they performed quite well in the early stages of the game. In fact, they even became the #1 guild in Black Sand Town. But everyone knew their methods were despicable. Their entire guild was filled with red name players, those who had murdered several others. To get a red name, you need to kill at least 10 players. And in this guild, there were plenty of such people. Lin Yuan narrowed his eyes. To be honest, it's not like I have a personal grudge against them, but letting people like this survive isn't exactly doing the world a favor either. They're just going to keep causing trouble. Even now, they were up to something nasty. Killing them would be the right thing. At the very least, I can sell their items for some decent cash. He then asked coldly, "Are you all members of the Bloodscar Guild?" Lin Yuan knew it was important to confirm before finishing them off. One of the guild members scoffed in response. "Do we look like nobodies to you? We're top-ranking members of our guild, right below the leader and vice leader, and you dare punch our vice leader like that? Do you even know the consequences of what you've done? Our vice leader could have killed you in one hit, and don't even get me started on our leader. He's way more powerful than anyone you've ever seen. You've made a huge mistake coming here, and we're not going to forgive you for it. Now hand over both your arms as an apology gift, kneel before us, and call us Grandpa. Until you do that, we won't let you go. Hurry up, we don't have all day." Lin Yuan didn't waste time responding. He stepped forward and sliced their arms clean off. He said casually, "Sorry, I have trouble hearing sometimes. Did you say to cut off your arms and start barking like a dog? Well, I've taken care of your arms. Now, get to barking." The girl nearby stood frozen in shock, thinking, who is this guy? How is he so insanely strong? He just took them all out like it was nothing. Meanwhile, Fei Hu, lying injured nearby, quickly drank a potion that restored 20% of his health. That bastard attacked me from behind, otherwise, he never would have landed a hit on me. He stood up with fury in his eyes. "You made a huge mistake by attacking me from behind. Boy, I'll make sure you die like a dog, or worse." Just then, the guild leader arrived at the scene. "I want to see for myself who this bastard is that dared attack my guild and my brother. I don't care who he is. He's not leaving this place alive. The entire world will learn what happens to those who defy us." One of the guild members pointed toward Lin Yuan. "That's him, leader. That's the bastard who started attacking us the moment he showed up." Lin Yuan turned around and sighed. "Looks like the drama isn't over yet. Guess there's still a bit left to wrap up." Another guild member stepped forward and shouted, "He's the one who attacked our vice leader from behind, and nearly crippled him. Leader, don't let this bastard escape." As the guild leader prepared to strike, he suddenly paused, thinking, wait a second, something's off about this guy. His eyes, they're different. I don't sense even a hint of fear in him. Even when we're trying to provoke him, it's like the whole area is prepared to be our grave. His gaze shows how much confidence he has in himself. I'm a level 8 player, most people tremble at the sight of me, but his eyes, they make me feel like I'm the one who's weak. He then noticed the sword in Lin Yuan's hands, the Moonlight Sword. That weapon, I've heard of it. It's said to be so sharp, it can slice through even the thickest metal, and if wielded properly, it might even cut through air itself, and he's holding it like it's nothing. His overall presence is terrifying. The guild leader clenched his fists, struggling to breathe. Honestly, even I'm having trouble catching my breath just standing near him. If I were here earlier, I never would have let Fei Hu provoke someone like this. Now, I really don't know what's going to happen to us. One of the guild members pleaded with their leader. Guild master, what are you thinking? We all know you're a kind person, but forgiving someone who hurt your own people, that's not right. You need to show that bastard what you're made of. He then turned toward Lin Yuan and sneered. You were acting all high and mighty earlier, weren't you? Well, I've brought your father figure right here. Try acting tough now. He could crush pests like you in less than 2 minutes. You can't even imagine how powerful he is. We offered you a pretty sweet deal before, but now, even if you kneel and beg, we're not going to forgive you. Huang, the guild leader, was growing uncomfortable standing near Lin Yuan. He muttered in frustration, why won't this guy shut up? Who told him to hype me up like this in front of him? He could feel that Lin Yuan wasn't an ordinary player. The artifacts on him were clearly high tier. It finally hit him. This had to be the player who defeated the boss monster earlier. There was no doubt now. This was Lin Yuan. He thought back to what he had instructed his guild before arriving. Provoke anyone you want, but whatever you do, don't provoke Lin Yuan. But these fools had done exactly that. Lin Yuan looked directly at him and asked, "So, are you the leader of Bloodscar?" The guild leader thought to himself, if my guild members weren't watching, I'd drop to my knees right now, but they're all here. If I surrender in front of them, they'll never respect me again. That's why I have no choice. I have to fight. While Huang was still lost in thought, Fei Hu suddenly stepped forward and shouted, "Brother, don't kill him. His death is reserved for my hands." The girl nearby panicked and yelled out, "Look behind you. He's charging into attack from the rear." As Fei Hu lunged from behind, Huang charged from the front, hoping to trap Lin Yuan. He declared, "You made a huge mistake messing with us. You had a bright future once, but now, it's over, Lin Yuan. This will be your end." Huang thought this was the perfect opportunity, Fei Hu attacking from the back, and he from the front. Lin Yuan had nowhere to run. Despite both brothers closing in on him, Lin Yuan didn't flinch. Fei Hu was stunned. Is he crazy? We're both right here, and he's not even trying to dodge? Sure, he's powerful, but there's no way he can handle both of us at once. But before they could strike, Lin Yuan summoned his kobold boss. In a flash, the boss landed a devastating hit on Fei Hu, sending him flying across the field. The guild leader stood in shock, watching Lin Yuan's ability in disbelief. "I've never seen power like this in my life." Lin Yuan smirked and replied coldly, "That's because this is the last time you'll ever see it, because you won't live to see anything else." Without hesitation, Lin Yuan slashed Fei Hu repeatedly, leaving him lifeless on the ground. "I thought fighting you would be fun. But honestly, you were just disappointing." As Fei Hu died, a system notification popped up. "You have killed 2 players. You've earned 2 sin points. Kill 8 more and you'll be marked as a red name player." Lin Yuan thought to himself, if I don't kill more players within a week, these sin points will expire. Honestly, I'd rather avoid people from now on. I have no interest in becoming a red name. Meanwhile, the remaining guild members saw what happened and started fleeing. The girl turned to Lin Yuan and asked, "Brother, they're getting away. Shouldn't we chase them?" But Lin Yuan simply said, "We've already taken out the guild's strongest. The rest are just insects. Even if they run, it won't make a difference. There's no point wasting time." He turned his attention to the loot from the battle. "I have to admit, this Fei Hu guy was a decent thief. They've never taken down a world boss, yet they've got 2 silver class and 1 bronze class weapon. That kind of gear is rare. No doubt they stole it from others." Lin Yuan thought that if he sold the items in the real world, he'd make a good amount of money. "I really need the cash anyway. I'll use the money to help out at home." As he pondered over his loot, the girl walked up to him and said gratefully, "Sir, thank you so much. If you hadn't been here today, I wouldn't have survived. I don't even know how to thank you. I don't even know your name." Lin Yuan looked at her and said, "You want to know my name? Soon, the day will come when my name will be ranked 1 in the top 10 players. On that day, you'll have no trouble remembering it." The girl gasped in shock. "Number 1? That's such a huge goal." She then followed behind him and asked hesitantly, "Can I ask you something? Would it be okay if I followed you in this game? I'm a mage too. Please, let me join you." Later, Lin Yuan arrived in the Wailing Desert, and continued moving forward, but soon, he was ambushed by level 6 monsters. He grinned and said, "Thunder Scorpions? Level 6? This shouldn't be too hard to handle." Within moments, Lin Yuan wiped out all the monsters around him. Suddenly, the system notification popped up. "You've eliminated 60 scorpions in this area. Congratulations. You've leveled up to level 8. Excited, Lin Yuan thought to himself, "Finally, I've reached level 8. Honestly, I didn't come here to level up. I was actually looking for herb, but it turns out, coming here gave me a huge advantage." The scene transitioned to 2 days earlier when Lin Yuan had visited an alchemist. The alchemist greeted him eagerly. "Player, I've been waiting for you. The time has come for me to assign your quest." The system then prompted, "You've received a quest from Alchemist Immer. Would you like to accept it?" The details of the quest were then displayed. "Head to the Wailing Desert and gather 100 units of the paralysis herb. You must return them to Alchemist Immer within 1 day." Lin Yuan recognized the herb's name and was immediately intrigued. The paralysis herb, that's an incredible find. If I remember correctly, soon the dungeon will open in the main city, filled with monsters that use thunder-based attacks. This herb will become crucial because anyone who consumes it becomes immune to electricity. When that happens, its demand will skyrocket, and whoever owns it will make a fortune. He recalled that in his previous life, a player had hoarded this herb and earned a massive profit from it. That memory sealed his decision. "That's why I accepted this quest. Once I return the herbs, Immer will not only reward me with potions but also share the recipe to craft them." Even more interesting was the fact that this was Immer's first day in the game, and it would also be his last. After this quest, he'll retire and disappear from the game entirely. That makes this quest incredibly important. Who knows when I'll be up against powerful thunder beasts? When that time comes, this recipe will save me. Back in the present, Lin Yuan had already defeated dozens of monsters. He reflected, the paralysis herb really is precious. Thankfully, I became much stronger before coming here. These scorpions are no match for me. If I had come before clearing the cobalt mines, this place would have been tough. Finally, Lin Yuan reached the herb. He thought, quest complete. He recalled a skill he'd learned earlier in Black Sun Town, the gathering skill. It's like having a hidden storage pocket. Just like I can store unlimited undeads in the underworld gate, I can store a ton of herbs here. He placed all the herbs inside and smiled. That was easy. Time to head back. But just as he took his first step toward leaving, the ground beneath him began to rumble violently. Suddenly, a massive tail burst out of the earth and whipped toward him. Acting swiftly, Lin Yuan dodged the attack in time. Something powerful is coming. The system chimed. Warning, a mutated monster has appeared. Name, Crystal Demon Thunder Scorpion. Caution advised. Extremely powerful. Lin Yuan's eyes widened. A mutated monster? These aren't regular bosses, but due to mutation, their power rivals boss-level threats. And it's level 10. This is going to be fun. He drew his weapon. I haven't had the chance to fully test my Moonlight Sword. Looks like I finally can. With that, Lin Yuan launched a fierce attack on the scorpion, but to his shock, his blade barely scratched its shell. I attacked with full force, and still couldn't pierce its defense. So this is what makes it a level 10 beast. The system gave another warning. Host, distance yourself. The Thunder Scorpion is about to unleash Thunder Strike. Lin Yuan realized the danger instantly. Thunder Strike? If that even grazes me, I won't be able to move at all afterward. As if things weren't bad enough, the Thunder Scorpion launched a venomous strike next, but Lin Yuan narrowly dodged again, backing off. He analyzed the situation. This thing's power is insane. A direct fight won't work. Looks like I'll have to summon my undead. The scorpion lunged again, but this time Lin Yuan summoned reinforcements. Undead, get out here and show them what you've got. Suddenly, his skeletal warriors charged at the Thunder Scorpion and landed a powerful hit. Lin Yuan smirked. I activated double damage, and still, its HP only dropped by 200. The Thunder Scorpion roared and slammed the ground with such force that the earth itself split open. Lin Yuan realized aloud that if close-range attacks wouldn't work, that was fine. He had long-range options too. With that, he launched his Soul Flame attack at the scorpion. As the attack landed, the creature's HP began dropping steadily. Lin Yuan smirked and thought, what's the matter? Don't have an answer for this attack? Meanwhile, his summoned kobold monsters bound the scorpion in place. The kobold boss charged forward and landed a devastating hit. The system immediately notified. Warning, scorpion monster has taken critical damage. HP has dropped below 400. Enraged by the continuous damage, the scorpion roared and effortlessly broke free from the kobold's grasp. Lin Yuan, now airborne, looked down and reflected. This fight's gone on long enough. As long as that thick shell of yours stays intact, defeating you will be almost impossible. But once it breaks, you'll be done. Just then, the system reminded him, Host, you possess the Slayer Hunter title. Due to this title, your attack power, double damage, and magic damage increased by 10%. Lin Yuan clenched his fist and whispered, perfect timing. With this punch, I'll split you in two. He launched a brutal, focused attack straight at the scorpion. The moment it hit, the monster collapsed. The system echoed once again, you've successfully slain the mutated monster, Crystal Thunder Scorpion. You've earned 560 experience points. Lin Yuan didn't stop there. He used his necromancer skills and resurrected the Crystal Scorpion as his own servant, a level 10 slave. This is the strongest summon in my army so far. Before he could celebrate, more scorpion monsters began rushing at him from all directions. Lin Yuan chuckled. Great timing. I was just about to head home, but now, I'll take you all down first. He turned toward the resurrected scorpion and commanded, Crystal Scorpion, show them what you can do. The creature unleashed Thunderstorm, paralyzing all enemies instantly. Lin Yuan followed up with a clean sweep, wiping out the entire wave. Thanks to that, the system reported back, congratulations, host, you've leveled up twice and reached level 10. Thrilled, Lin Yuan smiled wide. Leveling up twice in one go? That's insane. I can feel how much stronger I've become. As a reward, he also received several high-tier weapons from the silver grade. Looking through the loot, Lin Yuan thought to himself, I've got the Lightning Spear, Guardian's Grave, Ring of Paralysis, and Phantom Arm Guard. All of these are worth millions, and honestly, I won't be needing most of them. He realized he could sell them and use the money to improve the lives of his family. In my past life, my parents and sisters struggled so much because of me. It's time they got the life they deserve. The system continued. You've cleared the entire surrounding area. As a result, you've received a golden grade skill book. Lin Yuan's eyes lit up as he read the title, Curse of Darkness. A special reward for clearing the area? Let's see. The system explained, this skill book can only be learned by necromancers. Lin Yuan thought, this book is perfect for me. The system further confirmed, the skill has been added to your memory. You have acquired Curse of Darkness. This skill reduces the target's energy by 20% and increases your own energy by 20%. Amazed, Lin Yuan said to himself, this is incredible. I can weaken my enemies and boost my army at the same time. He immediately used Curse of Darkness on his newly resurrected scorpion, causing its energy to surge. Now that I've reached level 10, my warm-up phase is over. It's time to head to the city and find my teammates. I won't be alone anymore. As Lin Yuan began walking forward, he suddenly felt a hand on his shoulder. Confused, he murmured, is someone trying to wake me up? When he opened his eyes, he saw his mother standing beside him. Lin Yuan, your father's hurt his back. Can you please come help? He quickly helped his dad sit down and asked, Mom, how did he get hurt? She explained with a sigh, our AC broke down. I told him to call a technician, but he decided to play Superman and climb the wall to fix it himself and fell. His father added with a pained chuckle, I just wanted to save some money. Last time, the washing machine broke, and I fixed that too. Lin Yuan and Lin Ten are growing up. We need to save every bit we can. It's just a minor injury anyway. I'll sleep it off. I still need to go pick up Lin Ten later. Hearing all this, Lin Yuan's thoughts turned serious. I need to change things. They've suffered so much. It's time I made things better for them. The scene then transitioned to the next morning. His parents were still sleeping when they were startled awake by loud noises outside. As Lin Yuan's mom stepped outside, she called out in surprise, Lin Yuan, is that you? What in the world are you doing out here to make so much noise? But the moment she looked around, both she and her husband were stunned. Their entire house had changed. Everything inside looked brand new. A deliverman stepped forward and greeted them. You must be Mr. Lin. Mr. Lin Yuan purchased all these items yesterday, and we're here today to install them. Please confirm the delivery. The payment has already been made in full. Lin Yuan's mother blinked in disbelief. Are we dreaming? Everything in our house looks completely different, and Lin Yuan paid for all of it? But he doesn't even have a job. How could he afford this? The scene then shifted to Lin Yuan, who was working out at the gym. Nearby, a group of girls shyly admired him from a distance, whispering about how handsome and fit he looked. One of the gym employees walked over, politely saying, sorry to bother you, but I wanted to ask if you'd be interested in purchasing our VIP membership package. You'd need to pay the full year's fee up front. Without hesitation, Lin Yuan handed her his card and said, sure, just deduct whatever's needed from this. Internally, Lin Yuan reflected, after selling all the extra gear I got from the dungeon, I had a decent amount of money. I used it to renovate our home and now I'm buying a full-year family gym membership. Honestly, my parents in 1010 need this more than I do. They need to be in good shape if they're going to adapt to the changes in this world. Right now, their bodies are too weak. They wouldn't be able to handle powers if they had them. Meanwhile, the gym girl was still thinking about him. This guy's incredible. He showed up at 5 a.m. and has been working out for 3 hours straight. Even after all that, his face isn't flushed at all, and his body looks like a professional athlete's. This is insane. She glanced at his card and gasped internally. This is a VIP black card. Only people with a bank balance of at least $5 million get one of these. He's not just fit and handsome, he's rich too. Do guys like this even exist in real life? Elsewhere, Lin Yuan called his mother and reassured her, Mom, all the new stuff in the house, I paid for it using the prize money I won from a competition. Seriously, don't worry about money anymore. Also, from now on, neither you nor Dad are going to work. Just relax at home. I'll go pick up 1010 from school. The gym employee, still nearby, watched him with admiration. He's so young, yet so responsible, not just for himself but for his entire family. What an amazing person. The scene transitioned to Jishu High School. School had just ended, and students were walking home. Lin Yuan's little sister, Lin Ten, stepped out of the school gates with her classmates. A girl behind her was chatting excitedly. It's my birthday today. My brother promised he'd bring me an amazing cake. Another girl smiled and replied, that's so sweet. Having an older brother must be amazing. Girls with big brothers are really lucky. I wish I had one too. Lin Ten, overhearing them, thought to herself, is it really that great to have a big brother? Honestly, I don't think it makes much difference. There's nothing to be jealous of. My brother spends all day playing games. He doesn't take care of himself, and he couldn't care less about the family. To be honest, I don't even need a brother like that. As she was about to leave, a boy stepped in her path and said smugly, School beauty, you're really arrogant, aren't you? How many times have we asked you to meet with us, and yet you always ignored us? Now, look, we had to bring our young master just to talk to you. The so-called young master stepped forward and said, "We came all the way here ourselves, so you can't just leave now. You owe us a little of your time." Lin Ten responded coldly, "What do you people want from me? I've already told you, I'm not interested in talking to you. Why do you keep bothering me?" A classmate behind her whispered, "Class president, who even are these guys? They don't look like students from our school." The young master walked up and sneered, "Look, I get it, you're a stunning beauty, but don't let that go to your head. You think you're too good for us? Let me see how that pretty face of yours actually feels." He reached out to touch her, but Lin Ten jerked back, shouting, "Get away from me. If you don't leave right now, I'll call the police." The young master's expression twisted in anger. "How dare you humiliate me? I was trying to be nice. Now I'll show you who I really am. Go ahead, call the cops. I want to see who dares come help you." Without warning, he struck her, and Lin Ten collapsed to the ground. The young master stepped forward once again, his voice filled with fury. "You've insulted me enough. I'm going to take out all my anger on you today. Let's see what face you show when you come back to school after this. You're about to learn what it means to mess with me." Just as his attack was about to land on Lin Ten, a hand suddenly stopped him mid-swing. Lin Ten opened her eyes in confusion, wondering what had happened. That's when she saw him. Lin Yuan had arrived just in time to protect her. He glared at the attacker and growled, "You dog, how dare you lay a hand on my sister? Looks like you have no regard for your life." Still in shock, Lin Ten murmured, "Lin Yuan, you're here?" The young master snapped, "I'm already pissed off, and now you want to act like a hero? You're not getting out of this." His lackey stepped forward too, shouting, "How dare you lay a hand on our young master? There's no one in this entire city who can stop him. Today, we'll break your teeth." They all charged at once, but Lin Yuan didn't flinch. He calmly and effortlessly started knocking each of them out, one punch at a time. Within 2 minutes, every single attacker was unconscious on the ground. He looked down at their fallen bodies and warned them coldly, "If I ever see any of you near my sister again, I won't let you off so easily. I'll beat you so badly that you'll forget how to breathe. Take this as your one and only warning. Next time, there won't be one." Then he turned to Lin Ten and said, "Let's go. You don't need to worry about these punks anymore." Lin Ten was completely stunned. She looked at her brother in disbelief and asked, "Why did you come to pick me up today?" As they started walking, she thought to herself, "The Lin Yuan I knew only cared about gaming. Why would he come to school for me?" Lin Yuan replied, "Dad hurt his back and is resting at home. Mom is taking care of him, so I came to pick you up." Lin Ten asked worriedly, "Is Dad okay?" Lin Yuan reassured her, "Don't worry, it's nothing serious, just a slight back strain. He'll be fine." They walked in silence for a while. Lin Ten reflected quietly, "I can't even remember the last time I had a conversation with my brother. It's been so long, it actually feels awkward talking to him again." Just then, one of her classmates came running up to her and asked excitedly, "Class president, is that really your brother? He's so cool. My brother just lazes around at home all day, but yours is so fit. He took down all those guys so easily." Another girl chimed in, "I didn't even know you had a brother. And look at him, he's skilled, handsome, and confident. Why didn't you ever mention him before?" Lin Ten thought to herself, "Handsome? My brother?" She responded out loud, "From which angle does he even look handsome to you all? He seems totally average to me." But her classmate protested, "President, what are you even saying? He looks just like you, beautiful and unique. There's no one else in school with looks like yours. And there's no one else like your brother either. Just look around. Do you see anyone even close to his level? He looks like a celebrity." Lin Ten looked around and realized something. Everyone's walking near us. That's not normal. They're only here because of him. She started thinking deeply, why didn't I ever notice how handsome he is? He used to be so scrawny, but now his body has completely changed. He's taller and has muscle definition. He must have started working out, and that's probably why he's gotten so skilled at fighting too. She remembered the old Lin Yuan vividly. The Lin Yuan I knew didn't care about anyone. He'd be glued to his phone all day, ignoring the world and everyone around him. He didn't even care about himself, just sat around gaming non-stop. But now, looking at him today, I can tell something has changed, and this isn't some prank. He's really become a new person. If he's changed for the better, then I'm genuinely happy for him. As they were leaving, one of Lin Ten's friends cheerfully waved goodbye and said, "See you tomorrow, President. Make sure your brother keeps picking you up." At that moment, Lin Yuan noticed Lin Ten limping and immediately knelt down in front of her. He said gently, "You're hurt. Walking's going to be difficult. Hop on my back. I'll carry you." Lin Ten, blushing, insisted she could walk on her own. There's no need for all this, she thought. What is he doing? I'm not a kid anymore. Getting on his back would be so weird. Isn't he even a little embarrassed to suggest this? But before she could resist further, Lin Yuan gently lifted her onto his back. He said calmly, "All your friends have already left. I noticed earlier that you hurt your foot when you fell. There's no point in dragging yourself painfully. I'm your older brother, it's the least I can do. Lin Ten was stunned. When did he even notice my injury? It must have happened before he got to school. Was that why he beat those guys up so badly? To protect me? Later, they reached home. Their parents, who had already heard what happened at school, decided not to ask too many questions to avoid stressing them out. Lin Yuan's dad simply said, "You two go get some rest. I'll head to school tomorrow to find out exactly what's going on there." As Lin Yuan left to settle in, their mom turned to Lin Ten and asked her to look at her brother more closely. "Don't you think he's changed? Every time I see him now, he feels like a completely different person." Even their father agreed. "You're right. I'd never seen Lin Yuan cook before, but today he made an amazing meal, and on top of that, he's even earning money by gaming. He replaced everything in the house with better stuff. When I checked the value, it turned out to be worth millions. Who knew someone could earn that much from gaming?" Lin Ten thought to herself, "It's not just me, even mom and dad can see how much he's changed. That's definitely a good thing for our family." Their mom reminisced, "When you two were little, you used to go out and play all the time. You'd get tired, and Lin Yuan would carry you home on his back, just like today. Seeing that again made me feel so happy. You two seem like your old, adorable selves." Lin Ten smiled but replied, "Mom, that's so long ago, I don't even remember it." Still, she couldn't deny what she was thinking. "It really does seem like my brother has changed for the better. That's great for all of us." Then Lin Yuan confidently announced, "I've taken care of all the problems we were facing. From now on, everything should go smoothly. Alright, it's time for me to return to the immortal world." With that, he headed toward his room, preparing to re-enter the game. Lin Ten watched him leave and thought, "Maybe I was wrong about him. Maybe he hasn't really changed. He's still the same guy who locks himself in his room and plays video games all day, ignoring his family and everything around him." Just then, Lin Yuan returned and handed her an ointment. "Put this on your wound. It'll help it heal faster." "Okay, I'm heading back to my room to play, unless it's urgent. Please don't disturb me." Lin Ten, slightly flustered, replied, "Okay, no one's going to bother you." Their mom, watching the interaction, chuckled and said, "See, you two are just like you were when you were kids." Then she asked, "So, what exactly happened at school today?" "I have a rough idea, but not the full story." Lin Ten brushed it off, saying, "It wasn't anything special. Mom, I'm going to take a shower now, so don't disturb me." Meanwhile, Lin Yuan sat in his room, reflecting on everything. Judging by everyone's reactions, I've only just realized how terrible I used to be. At least one good thing has come out of this. I've managed to resolve all the major issues at home in a short time. Now I can return to the game world in peace. He smiled to himself. Let's see what's changed in the immortal world during my absence. With that, Lin Yuan logged back into the immortal world, ready for whatever challenges awaited. After that, Lin Yuan entered Sand Town. Lin Yuan was excited. He said to himself, "Finally, my real mission begins. Now I need to track down that bastard who became a follower of the evil god. I'm sure he's somewhere in this town." A little ahead, the scene shifted. A soldier was seen roughly grabbing a man by the collar. The man pleaded, "Officer, I swear I haven't done anything wrong. There must be some misunderstanding." But the officer shouted back, "Shut your filthy mouth. Whatever you've got to say, you can say it at the station." At that moment, the officer suddenly felt like someone was watching him. He quickly turned around, but saw nothing. He mumbled, "Was that just my imagination?" Meanwhile, Lin Yuan was hidden nearby, watching everything. He thought to himself, "These patrol soldiers have insanely sharp eyes. I just killed 2 players here, so my sin level is now at 2. If they spot me, it could lead to serious trouble." He continued thinking, "For the next 3 days, I'll need to stay hidden. After that, my sin level will automatically return to 0. I won't be able to do much in those 3 days anyway, which makes this a perfect opportunity to visit some old friends, those who helped me immensely last time. I never got the chance to repay their kindness." The scene transitioned to a quiet church. Inside, Father Lawrence was seen standing over someone, saying, "I used holy magic to purify you. There was a lot of darkness inside your soul, but thanks to the power of the holy light, I've cleansed it. From now on, walk the path of righteousness. If you stray again, your soul may be destroyed for good." Just then, Lin Yuan arrived and greeted him. "Father Lawrence, I'm here to help. I heard there's a patient in critical condition. I believe I have a way to heal him. Please, take me to him right away." Father Lawrence looked surprised and asked, "You can really help him? But you do realize we're talking about Night Doug's illness, right? No one has ever been able to cure it. Most people have already given up hope." Lin Yuan replied confidently, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm here for. Just take me to him. I'll handle the rest." As they walked, Lin Yuan recalled who the patient was. Doug Wayne, a legendary and powerful knight. He thought to himself, Doug Wayne is one of the strongest knights of the Lion Knight Order. In the Western Desert, you can afford to make enemies with anyone, except a Lion Knight. Mess with them, and you're as good as dead. He continued reflecting. Back in my past life, when I was stuck at level 15 and falling far behind everyone else, Doug Wayne was the one who stepped forward to help me. He gifted me a golden tier weapon for free. That weapon was the turning point that helped me rise in the game. If I hadn't had it, I probably wouldn't have survived even my third battle. I owe my life to him. Now, with a chance to repay that debt, Lin Yuan was determined not to waste it. The scene shifted again. Lin Yuan stood next to the ill Doug Wayne and said warmly, "Mr. Wayne, don't worry. I'm here to cure you. We'll get all that poison out of your body." Wayne slowly opened his eyes, squinting at the stranger. "Who are you?" Then, seeing Lin Yuan's level, his expression changed to disbelief. He sat up with difficulty and snapped, "Are you joking? I'm dying, and you send me a level 10 newbie? Do you even know how dangerous my condition is? The soldiers in this city have way higher levels than you, and even they couldn't do anything, and you think you alone can fix me? Don't waste my time. Get out of here." Just then, he began coughing up blood. Lin Yuan said calmly, "I'm not the one wasting time, you are. Maybe you don't realize how dangerous this poison is. You're surviving only because you're absurdly powerful, but even your strength won't be enough to save you. At best, you have 1 month left. After that, the poison will completely destroy your body from the inside. No one will be able to save you, not even the gods." He continued, "You have only 2 options. Accept your death in a month, or accept my offer. If you let me treat you, there's a high chance you'll survive. Life or death, it's your choice." Doug Wayne stared at him and asked, "Kid, do you even know what you're talking about?" Then he admitted quietly, "Yes, I know I'm going to die in a month, but there's nothing I can do about it." He explained, "The only known cure for this poison is one thing: 1,000 grams of fat from a rotten kill fish. Without it, there's no hope. But that fish, it's nearly impossible to catch. I already sent many of my men to find it. Not a single one returned alive." He looked Lin Yuan straight in the eye. "If you've got a death wish, then go ahead. Try your luck in the muddy clay. You'll soon find out why no one's come back with that fish." Just then, a system notification popped up. "You've received a request from Doug Wayne. Do you want to accept it?" Lin Yuan smirked and thought to himself, "That's exactly why I provoked him, to get this request. What are we waiting for? Of course I accept." The system announced that this was the gold development quest. In order to heal Wayne's body, the player would need exactly 1,000 grams of rotten gill fish fat. It warned that there was only 1 month to complete this task. Lin Yuan, however, confidently claimed that a month was too long. He could finish it in just 5 days. Shortly after, Lin Yuan arrived at Muddy Clay, where numerous fish were swimming around. The system alerted him that these were level 15 rotten gill fish, elite rank monsters. Elsewhere in the desert, a group of players was seen struggling to fight the fish. Their captain warned the others that the fish had extremely sharp teeth. Even a single bite could split a body in 2, he said, and stressed the importance of staying far from their mouths. Suddenly, one of the fish lunged and attacked the captain. Injured and overwhelmed, the captain began to scream in pain. His team pleaded for help, shouting that the muddy clay terrain was trapping them, making it impossible to move, and the fish were closing in fast. As the captain was about to be devoured, he thought to himself that no one could save him now. He regretted that despite warning others to stay cautious, he was the one falling into danger. It felt like his end was going to be painfully tragic. Just then, Lin Yuan appeared and threw the captain aside, saving him at the last moment. Lin Yuan told him not to get in his way as he had important work to do. Using Soul Flame, Lin Yuan launched a powerful attack on the fish. He asked mockingly why they even bothered fighting such a monster if they couldn't attack from a distance. Only a fool would try to fight this fish with a sword. The captain, stunned, wondered who this mysterious warrior was. He had already accepted his fate, yet this stranger saved him effortlessly. He concluded that Lin Yuan was no ordinary man. He had to be a great hero. As the captain turned around to thank him, Lin Yuan had already moved ahead to attack. The knight whispered in awe that this man truly was a great hero. Just a moment ago, he stood beside him, and now he was already face to face with the monster. He felt lucky that this hero had arrived in time to save them. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan was thinking to himself that the man was overreacting. He hadn't saved him out of heroism, he was simply in the way. He didn't consider himself a great hero, he was just doing his job. Using more soul flames, Lin Yuan launched a large-scale attack that reduced all the fish's HP by 50 points. The enraged fish all targeted him in retaliation. Lin Yuan smirked and said that this was exactly what he wanted. The foolish fish were walking into his trap. They didn't realize that he wasn't prey, he was the predator. The captain shouted a warning, calling him a great hero again and urging him to be careful. He reminded him that the fish's teeth were extremely dangerous and could paralyze if they bit into his body. but Lin Yuan effortlessly dodged their attacks. He muttered to himself, annoyed, wondering why the man was yelling so much. He could see the fish approaching. The shouting was just making him more anxious. Lin Yuan summoned his sword and remarked that killing the fish one by one was a waste of time. He decided it would be faster to eliminate them all at once. He began slaying the fish rapidly. The captain watched in disbelief, thinking that something insane was happening. Despite having a team of 8, they couldn't defeat even one fish, yet this man was slicing through them like radishes and carrots. Still, the captain reflected, there were a lot of fish here. Even with such immense power, handling all of them alone would be difficult, especially since they could use group attacks, which even powerful warriors struggled to withstand. At that moment, the monsters began forming a group to launch a combined assault. Lin Yuan noticed and said mockingly, "Oh, so now you're going to group up on me?" He laughed, calling it cheating, but if it was a team battle they wanted, he also had a team. He then summoned Giant Wolf, saying it was time to teach them a lesson. He commanded the wolf to use its skill, Howl of the Hungry. As the wolf began howling, the fish around them started becoming paralyzed. Lin Yuan declared that it was now time to finish them, but first, he needed to wear a mask. Without it, getting too close would be dangerous due to the toxic gas emitted by the fish. The system confirmed that the mask was being activated. As long as he wore it, no toxic gas could harm him, but the mask could only be used once. With the mask on, Lin Yuan lunged into battle again, targeting the fish's vital points and killing them rapidly. He remarked that everything was much easier now, and the fish were completely helpless before him. Within moments, most of the fish were dead. One of them tried to escape. Watching it flee, Lin Yuan remarked that its speed was far too slow to run away. If it had been faster, maybe it could have made it, but now, because of its poor speed, death was inevitable. With that, he hurled his sword and finished it off instantly. The observers standing nearby were left stunned. They questioned who this powerful player was, amazed that he had effortlessly wiped out so many monsters. Just as one of them started celebrating, another warned that it was too early to be happy. More monsters were still approaching, and escaping this place while fighting them off would be extremely difficult. At that moment, Lin Yuan ordered his Thunder Scorpion to begin its attack. The Scorpion activated its lightning skills and unleashed a barrage of electric strikes, wiping out multiple fish at once. A shocked onlooker exclaimed that he couldn't believe what he was seeing. He hadn't expected any of this. The level gap between the fish and human players was immense. No normal human should have been able to take them down so easily. As Lin Yuan approached them, he asked who told them he intended to fight all these monsters. He explained that he knew defeating them all would take way too long, and he wasn't foolish enough to waste that kind of time. He told them they'd understand what he really planned to do in just 5 minutes. Just then, another team member pointed something out. He had noticed that all of the Thunder Scorpion's attacks were hitting the female fishes directly in the belly. He reminded the others that the female fish carried something inside their stomachs that, once released, caused the male fish to go berserk. Now, with so many female fish killed and their acidic contents spilled, the male fish had lost all control. They had started attacking everything in sight, even their own allies, without understanding what was going on. Lin Yuan thought to himself that the female fish carried eggs inside their bellies, and those eggs contained the power of gluttony. When the eggs were released, all the male fish became driven by one instinct, to protect the eggs. This instinct overrode all other logic, causing them to attack indiscriminately, whether it was a human, a monster, or even another fish. He explained, in his thoughts, that he had anticipated this behavior. By using the eggs as bait, he had successfully made the fish fight among themselves. Their sheer numbers had made it almost impossible to defeat them one-on-one. But with clever planning, he had turned the tide. Suddenly, a massive female fish charged toward Lin Yuan. The others shouted in panic, warning him to be careful. The fish seemed particularly furious because of him, and it was much larger than the others. Lin Yuan calmly said he had been waiting for her to show up. Now that she had come out of the mud, he finally had a worthy target. He sent his ghost wolf to attack her, mentioning that he had already dispatched 6 wolves to take her down, but she had still managed to escape their assault. It was a good thing she had come above ground. If she had stayed below, the wolves might never have stopped her. This was the kind of opponent he had been waiting for, someone strong and challenging. Eventually, Lin Yuan sliced the giant female fish into 2 pieces, and safely collected all the eggs from her body. Seeing this, the other players asked in confusion what he intended to do next. Lin Yuan warned them to step away from the rock they were hiding behind and instead take cover near the large boulder behind it. He told them he was about to do something extremely dangerous. As they moved away, the giant wolf placed all the collected eggs on top of a cliff and let out a loud roar, drawing the attention of all the male fish nearby. The moment their attention shifted, they completely lost control and charged toward the cliff. Lin Yuan thought to himself that everything was unfolding exactly as he had planned. The The fish, acting without thinking, were rushing toward the eggs, and once they were all out in the open, eliminating them would be much easier. One of the players standing behind finally understood the strategy. He realized that Lin Yuan had used the female fish's eggs to lure all the male fish toward the cliff. Now, with them gathered in one spot, they could be wiped out all at once. He praised the great lord, calling him not just a brilliant fighter but also a strategic genius. Lin Yuan declared that now that the male fish were out in the open, he didn't even need to get involved directly. He ordered the kobolds to attack and finish them off. We then saw the kobolds swiftly killing the grounded fish. A shocked knight pointed out that the fish hadn't given up yet. They were releasing poison from inside their bodies as a final act of retaliation. Lin Yuan explained that this was exactly why he had told everyone to stay away. The air was already contaminated with poison, and now the male fish were releasing even more. The atmosphere had become toxic and extremely dangerous for humans. He warned that if any of them accidentally entered within a 5-meter radius of the fish, they'd definitely be affected. The most interesting part? Lin Yuan noted that the fish's blue poison was so dangerous that even they weren't completely immune to it. The poison they had released to kill others would eventually end up killing them too. Filled with relief, the remaining players rejoiced. Just a short while ago, they had believed they had no chance of survival, but thanks to the Great Lord, they were all still alive. Every fish in the area had been completely wiped out. As Lin Yuan continued walking forward, he muttered to himself that he only had one task left in this place, completing his quest and gathering loot. He also thought it was time to remove his mask since it had already helped him enough. At that moment, Lin Yuan took out his absorbing pot, thinking to himself how expensive it had been to purchase it. The unfortunate part was that he could only use it once. Still, he consoled himself by saying it would be worth it to fulfill Doug Wayne's request. The system notified him, "You have collected 100 grams of rotten gill fish oil." It explained that the oil had extraordinary healing effects. It could heal the body even after severe positive attacks. Lin Yuan admitted he had completely forgotten that killing these many fish would result in a reward. He was soon informed by the system that he had received an item called the Joker's Nose, a silver-grade artifact. It was an armor-type item, but it didn't possess any particularly impressive effects, just minor enhancements. He wondered sarcastically who would ever want to wear something like the Joker's Nose. Could the system not come up with anything worse? He concluded that the game developers probably added it as a joke, so players could walk around looking like clowns. He declared internally that no matter what unique powers it might have, he would never wear it. Just then, a man appeared from behind and exclaimed with excitement that Lin Yuan had found an amazing item. He said he had never seen such a cool artifact before. It even moved and glowed on its own. He insisted that wearing it would make Lin Yuan look incredible. Shocked, Lin Yuan asked if he truly liked it. The man happily confirmed and called it a unique item. He offered to buy it, saying he would pay any price. Money was no concern for him. At that point, the man's teammates stepped in and clarified to Lin Yuan that he should not misunderstand. Their captain was a strange person who loved bizarre things. Amused, Lin Yuan offered to gift the Joker's Nose to him, saying he could keep it. Overjoyed, the man offered to pay him in return, but Lin Yuan politely declined. The man started crying, declaring Lin Yuan an angel who had saved his life and given him such a magnificent artifact without asking for anything in return. He wondered if he would ever get the chance to meet someone like Lin Yuan again. Meanwhile, his teammates watched in disbelief, silently thinking their captain was a fool. Who would want to pay just to become a joker? If we were in his place, we'd never accept it. The scene then shifted to a church, where Lin Yuan poured the fish oil over Doug Wayne. The injuries began healing rapidly. Doug Wayne, shocked, asked how this could be possible. He admitted that he had never expected Lin Yuan to be able to collect the oil, but the boy had done the impossible. The system announced that Lin Yuan had successfully completed Doug Wayne's quest and would now receive a gold weapon as a reward, the Green Goblin Blade. Lin Yuan thought back to his past life. This very sword had been his first gold weapon. While it appeared ordinary, its hidden features were extraordinary. The blade possessed a special skill known as the Green Goblin Curse, which significantly boosted the user's abilities. It not only dealt physical damage but also attacked the soul, its soul damage being particularly deadly. The longer a fight went on, the greater the chance of victory when wielding this blade. He reminisced how, during his past struggles in the game, this sword had helped him survive the harsh desert. In fact, it was by using this very blade that he had become the most powerful mage in the entire desert, so powerful that no one could rival his magical powers. This was the same sword Doug Wayne had gifted him. At last, Lin Yuan felt he had repaid his debt to Doug Wayne. The system notified him again. "You have provided significant assistance to Doug Wayne. Your reputation in this city has increased by 1,000 points, and your reputation among the Lion Knights has increased by 500 points. Lin Yuan considered that reputation points didn't help in leveling up, but they did allow him to move more freely within the city, even in restricted areas that normal players couldn't access. As he was still thinking about all of this, another system pop-up appeared. It praised him for completing the quest excellently, stating that Doug Wayne now respected him. His affinity points with Doug Wayne had increased by 10. Lin Yuan noted that everything was unfolding just as it had in his past life, except for the affinity points. That was a new development. Doug Wayne then addressed him warmly, thanking him deeply. He said Lin Yuan had no idea how much bringing that oil had helped. Without it, he might not have survived until next month. Lin Yuan responded that he was simply glad he could help. Doug Wayne admitted he had nothing special to offer in return, but due to Lin Yuan's immense help, he wanted to give him an important piece of information. Lin Yuan thought to himself that since Doug Wayne was an NPC, he probably knew a lot about this world. Because he had earned Doug Wayne's trust, he was likely about to learn something very valuable. Doug Wayne warned him solemnly, if he ever encountered a man named Quincy in the desert, he must avoid him at all costs. No matter what happened, he should stay away from that man. Lin Yuan, surprised, responded by saying that Quincy was actually his teacher. He asked why Doug Wayne would speak about his teacher in such a way. Doug Wayne, visibly shocked, asked Lin Yuan to repeat himself. When Lin Yuan confirmed again that Quincy was indeed his teacher, Doug Wayne said that it was impossible. He claimed that someone like Lin Yuan would never be able to hide his true nature from Quincy. While Lin Yuan had concealed his abilities well, Doug Wayne confidently declared that Lin Yuan was a necromancer. Confused, Lin Yuan asked how Doug Wayne had discovered this. He insisted that he had never revealed his powers to anyone and had made sure his identity was well hidden in this world. Even Quincy couldn't detect it. So how could Doug Wayne have known? Doug Wayne explained that before he was poisoned, he used to work for a group called the Lion Knights. The Lion Knights were directly commanded by the Emperor himself, and no one else had the authority to issue them orders. They carried out several secret missions for the country, one of which was to eliminate necromancers. To aid in this task, they were taught a special skill called darkness perception. This ability allowed them to detect the dark aura inside necromancers whenever one passed nearby. The closer a necromancer was, the more clearly they could sense them. Doug Wayne said that because Lin Yuan had been standing very close to him recently, he had been able to clearly sense the dark energy emanating from him, which confirmed that Lin Yuan was a necromancer. Lin Yuan then realized something. This meant Doug Wayne had known his secret identity for some time. He asked why. Even though he had been near him a few days earlier, Doug Wayne hadn't mentioned anything back then. Thinking to himself, Lin Yuan admitted he had never even heard of darkness perception. He had no idea that such a skill existed in this world. He was even more shocked to learn that necromancers were hunted in this world. As far as he knew, no other class was treated this way. Now, he was determined to find out why being a necromancer was considered such a threat. Doug Wayne responded calmly. He said that during Lin Yuan's earlier visit, he had been too weak to use his powers properly due to the poison, but now that he had healed, his skill had reactivated on its own, allowing him to clearly see the overwhelming dark aura within Lin Yuan. Doug Wayne added that it was fortunate Lin Yuan had encountered him. If it had been any other member of the Lion Knights, they would have attacked him without hesitation. Curious, Lin Yuan asked about something called the Lord of Darkness. Doug Wayne realized then that Lin Yuan knew almost nothing about necromancers, so he decided to explain how the world truly worked and why necromancers were feared. He began by saying that everything started in ancient times. In the immortal world, there were 5 gods whom people worshipped and revered. First, the god of light. Second, the king of moon shadow. Third, the goddess of nature. Fourth, the god of tides. And fifth, the king of spirits. These 5 gods had been worshipped since ancient times, and everyone believed that they were the only gods in existence. But according to Doug Wayne, that belief was false. In reality, there was a 6th god, one kept hidden from the world. His name was the Lord of Darkness. He revealed that the Lord of Darkness was also known as the immortal god, and among the 6 divine beings, he was the strongest of them all. In fact, it was said that even if the other 5 gods joined forces, they still wouldn't stand a chance against him. Doug Wayne explained that whenever someone possessed such overwhelming power, they naturally did whatever they pleased. The Lord of Darkness was no different. He was immensely proud and arrogant about his power, and in this world, he acted solely according to his own will. The other gods were not nearly as powerful, and as a result, neither were their followers. But the Lord of Darkness loved his followers deeply. He blessed his most loyal servants with immense dark power so potent that they could dominate other sources of magic. That was how a new class was born, necromancers. Unlike any ordinary class, necromancers had unique abilities. They possessed physical power like warriors and could also perform magic like mages. However, the dark powers they harbored eventually corrupted their souls. They began to see themselves as gods and acted with unchecked arrogance. Doug Wayne said the world had suffered greatly because of the followers of the Lord of Darkness. The bizarre powers of the necromancers had caused mysterious diseases to spread, plagues that killed countless innocent people, and to make things worse, the necromancers themselves became increasingly violent and destructive. They didn't just kill people, they enslaved their souls. They turned them into undead beings to serve them. Because of this, their very existence brought disaster after disaster upon the world. Humanity was falling apart. Eventually, the kingdoms realized that while the Lord of Darkness gave people great power, if the common masses began to follow him, it would lead to the world's destruction. That's why all the kingdoms united to ban his worship. Temples that once welcomed thousands of followers were destroyed. Armies of soldiers were deployed to wipe out those who worshipped the Lord of Darkness. Strict laws were enforced to make sure no one would ever follow him again. His history was buried, his name erased from textbooks, and even speaking about him became illegal. The people of that time understood clearly just how dangerous the greed for power could be. No matter how much you tried to reason with people, they knew that one day, someone would once again be tempted by it. To prevent that, they erased him from history, and began hunting down all of his followers, the necromancers. That was why so few people today even knew that necromancers existed, and those who did know about them, considered them enemies. They were all given a clear order: if you ever spotted a necromancer, kill them immediately, no questions, no hesitation. That's why necromancy was now considered a forbidden ability, an ability no one should ever possess. Doug Wayne confessed that he himself had killed many necromancers in the past. About 10 years ago, he and his team were hunting one, when a necromancer used poison to attack him by surprise. That poison left Doug Wayne bedridden ever since. It had weakened him so much that he had accepted his fate and prepared for death. He knew that the kind of fish Lin Yuan had used to cure him couldn't be caught by just anyone. And yet, in a strange twist of fate, the one who had poisoned him was a necromancer, and now, the one who had saved him was also a necromancer. Doug Wayne said there was only one difference: Lin Yuan was a necromancer who had no knowledge of what he truly was, and that was the only reason he was still walking on the right path. Hearing this, Lin Yuan began to reflect. In his previous life, he had been a sorcerer, and because of that, he had no idea about the history or dangers of this world. He had no clue that his current ability was tied to such a massive and terrifying secret. The very power that had made him grow stronger so quickly could also become the reason for his downfall. He finally understood why his ability was always labeled as forbidden whenever he saw it in the system. It made sense now. He considered himself lucky that he had always used his concealment skill whenever he traveled. If he hadn't, he might have already been caught and killed. But now, he knew, he had to do something about this. He couldn't afford to let anyone else detect his aura, because anyone who realized his true identity might attack him without a second thought. Things had become far more complicated than he had expected. He couldn't even predict when or from where the next danger might appear. He had assumed that once his sin points were gone, he'd be able to roam freely through the city and investigate the man with the special badge. But that no longer seemed safe. If even one of the city's knights spotted him and sensed his aura, things could go horribly wrong. Lin Yuan realized that his top priority now was to hide his aura completely, especially the dark energy tied to the Lord of Darkness. If he failed to conceal it, not only would he be unable to move freely through the city, he wouldn't be able to investigate anything at all. He turned to Doug Wayne and asked him a crucial question. Doug Wayne, is there a way to bypass your special skill? Some method that could stop your detection from working? He explained that Doug Wayne was the only person who knew he was a good person, but if any other knight were to see him, they would attack immediately. That's why it was extremely important for him to know if there was a way to evade being detected. Doug Wayne said Lin Yuan was right. He truly was a good person. Even if he was a necromancer, Doug Wayne could confidently guarantee that Lin Yuan would never use his powers for evil. But then, Doug Wayne added, the truth remained that the rest of the world wouldn't believe in such goodness. If anyone else saw Lin Yuan, they wouldn't hesitate to attack him. Doug Wayne explained that their special detection skill could indeed be avoided, but unfortunately, he didn't know how. There was only one person who could help with that, Quincy. However, that was also where the real problem lay. Quincy hated necromancers more than anyone else. The moment he saw Lin Yuan, he would immediately recognize what he was, and Doug Wayne was absolutely certain that Quincy wouldn't hesitate to kill him on the spot. Doug Wayne warned that no one hated necromancers as deeply as Quincy did, and he had a very personal reason for it. Quincy had loved his wife more than anything in the world, but it was a necromancer who had taken her life. That was why he had warned Lin Yuan from the very beginning. No matter what happens, he should stay away from Quincy. Quincy wasn't just powerful, he was extremely dangerous. If he saw Lin Yuan, he would attack without mercy. Doug Wayne explained that while most knights killed necromancers out of duty, Quincy killed them out of pure hatred, even enjoying it. He wouldn't care how good Lin Yuan's intentions were, he wouldn't offer help, he would destroy him, even tearing apart his very soul. Doug Wayne then sighed, saying it was up to Lin Yuan to decide what he would do next. He only hoped that Lin Yuan would survive in this cruel world, and wouldn't run into more trouble. The scene shifted to the gravel desert. Walking through the desert, Lin Yuan remembered Doug Wayne's words. Doug Wayne had said, "Lin Yuan, don't be crazy. I already warned you, but you're still going to Quincy. I'm not joking, he's extremely dangerous. The moment he finds out you're a necromancer, he'll tear your soul in half. All of us knights used to kill necromancers because it was our job, but Quincy did it out of deep personal trauma. No matter how good your reason is, he won't help you." Lin Yuan replied that he had no other choice. He was already standing at the crossroads between life and death. At this point, he might as well try at least once, before dying. Back in the present, Lin Yuan then reflected on the dark energy within his body. Because of it, he couldn't enter any city freely. Every city had numerous knights, and he had no way of knowing when or where one might spot him. The real issue was that he couldn't even leave the desert and enter a new region. If his forbidden class was causing problems here, there was a good chance it would cause even worse problems in other maps too. That's why he had to solve this matter as quickly as possible. He didn't have any time to waste. If he kept wasting time on these distractions, when would he finally become powerful? He didn't know what the man with the mysterious badge was doing, or how powerful he had become. He didn't know how many new followers the man had added to his evil god cult either. But one thing was certain, if Lin Yuan didn't act soon, everything would be destroyed again. Just like last time, as he was deep in thought, suddenly, someone attacked him from the side. Lin Yuan dodged quickly and shouted, "Who's there? Come out." A group of people stepped forward, surrounding him. One of them grinned and said they had been looking for him for days. They joked that their shoes had worn out while chasing him across the desert. Just when they were about to give up, they had finally found him. Another taunted him, calling him a coward. He said that last time, Lin Yuan had escaped because they didn't have enough people with them, but now, their entire guild was present. He boasted that 30 of his brothers were standing right behind him, and challenged Lin Yuan to fight them all, if he had the guts. It turned out, these men were none other than Huang and Fei Hu. Huang declared that today, they were going to make Lin Yuan suffer a miserable death. He said Lin Yuan would soon be on his knees, begging for mercy. Fei Hu chimed in, reminding him that Lin Yuan hadn't shown them a shred of mercy when he attacked them last time. This time, they would take their revenge slowly. They said they would beat him so badly that he'd fall to his knees, crying and begging for forgiveness. He would plead for them to end his life. And the worst part? They wouldn't kill him. They would make sure Lin Yuan experienced a pain worse than death, something he could never have imagined. As he said this, Fei Hu began live streaming the fight. Meanwhile, in real life, viewers were commenting that it looked like the Bloodstain Guild was streaming again. One remarked that someone was definitely going to get killed by them today. Fei Hu addressed his viewers, claiming they were about to witness how his guild exacted revenge. He announced that they were about to tear a man into 1,000 pieces. As soon as he said this, the viewer count started increasing rapidly. Those watching the stream assumed that the Bloodstain Guild had found a newbie to bully. With 30 guild members ganging up on one person, many believed the newcomer stood no chance, no matter how strong he was. They called it unlucky for someone so handsome to get caught in this situation. A few even said that such a good-looking guy was about to die for no reason. Lin Yuan then calmly responded that both Huang and Fei Hu had been beaten like dogs the last time. He had thought they'd learned their lesson, but apparently not. He remarked that someone had rightly said, "Spare the rod and spoil the child." Lin Yuan said that he had cut off 2 empty-headed fools that day, and now, he'd have to take down 30 more. He smirked, saying it wasn't a problem, at least he'd finally get a warm-up, which he hadn't had in a while. Stream viewers were surprised by Lin Yuan's attitude. Despite knowing he was about to be killed, he was still acting cool and showing no signs of fear. Huang yelled at his men, asking what they were waiting for, and ordered them to attack. All 30 members began charging forward. Huang declared that Lin Yuan was going to be attacked from all directions. There was no escape. Just then, the system informed Lin Yuan that these attackers were making unprovoked assaults, meaning that for the next 15 minutes, even if he killed them, he wouldn't earn any sin points. He was free to fight without any penalties. Lin Yuan commented that 15 minutes was more than enough. Not just 30, he could probably wipe out 100 enemies in that time. With that, he summoned his army of undead soldiers, saying it was time for his warm-up. The soldiers began fighting immediately and were effortlessly defeating the enemy guild members. Huang instructed his men. Warriors were to attack from the rear, tanks were to move to the front and protect everyone, while mages and archers were to focus their attacks. Following orders, the mages launched their attacks, temporarily halting Lin Yuan's undead army. The archers began reducing their HP, which made Lin Yuan appear to be losing. viewership began dropping. Some viewers commented that they had thought the newbie would be special, but he clearly stood no chance against 30 players. Everyone knew that summoners weren't very strong, their summoned creatures were weak. People regretted wasting their time. Huang mocked Lin Yuan, saying that no matter what summoning powers he had, their guild had an unbreakable formation that allowed them to dominate anyone, anywhere. He taunted that Lin Yuan was about to lose, and he was enjoying watching him fail. But then, to everyone's surprise, Lin Yuan began laughing. He asked sarcastically if they were really waiting for him to lose, because they might be waiting forever. Huang was confused. Despite clearly losing, Lin Yuan was laughing. That's when the ground beneath the mages began to crack and collapse. The mages panicked, asking what was happening, realizing something underground was pulling them in. Suddenly, Lin Yuan's summoned kobolds erupted from beneath the earth, launching surprise attacks and taking down Fei Hu's men from all directions. Huang and Fei Hu were stunned. Just moments ago, they had been clearly winning, but now they were being overwhelmed by Lin Yuan's undead forces. The viewers were just as shocked. They wondered if these undead could think for themselves. When the frontal attack failed, they counterattacked from below with perfect coordination, better than what most elite guilds could manage. It became clear to them, Lin Yuan was no newbie. The Bloodstained Guild had seriously messed with the wrong guy. They had talked about killing him. Now it looked like they would be the ones dying today. As Lin Yuan began dominating, the viewer count started climbing again. Some mages commented that Lin Yuan's attacks were insanely dangerous. His weapons were even reaching behind their defenses. They needed to heal immediately or else they'd all be dead within moments. As they began to heal themselves, Lin Yuan attacked again, catching them off guard. He reminded them that he wasn't there for a party, he was there to kill them. Just then, an invisible assassin tried to sneak up on him, but Lin Yuan noticed, and before the enemy could strike, he launched a deadly counterattack. As the enemy emerged from the shadows, he said, "How did you know I was behind you?" Lin Yuan calmly replied that only a fool would try to hide in the sand and think they were invisible. Everyone knew that stealth was useless in such terrain. Meanwhile, the battle was clearly turning in undead's favor. Members of the guild began to panic. They were exclaiming how powerful the enemy was, stronger than they had ever expected. Every tanks had already been killed, and now, fewer than 10 of them remained standing. Frustrated, Fei Hu spoke up angrily. He said that last time, they didn't have much manpower, so even after losing, it didn't feel too bad. But this time, if I lose even with so many of us here, how will I ever face the world? Determined not to be humiliated, he declared he wouldn't go down without a fight. He would battle Lin Yuan himself. Fei Hu charged forward, shouting that today, he would personally sever Lin Yuan's head. Unfazed, Lin Yuan unsheathed his sword and said coldly, "Let's see who actually ends up killing whom today." He launched a green goblin curse attack toward Fei Hu. Taken aback, Fei Hu yelled in shock. He had never seen anything like it. What kind of attack is this? I've never witnessed anything like it before. Before Fei Hu could react, Lin Yuan hit him with another devastating blow and advanced forward. He taunted Fei Hu, "You came here to kill me, didn't you? But if you can't even see me, how do you plan to strike me?" He continued, saying he had always been a huge fan of Power Rangers since childhood, and now, he was thrilled to make his first kill in Power Ranger style. Lin Yuan counted down from 3, 3, 2, 1, and with that, his attack triggered an explosion. After the dust settled, Lin Yuan admired his sword, saying this was exactly why he liked it so much. It not only slashed enemies but also caused them to explode afterward. Personally, I love the way it looks. The live stream viewership surged. Spectators from around the world watched as viewers mocked the guild. One of them laughed. Weren't they the ones claiming they'd tear this newbie into 1,000 pieces? Look at him now. He's the one blowing them all away. Another chimed in, "This stream is insane. I've never seen anything this epic before." Back on the battlefield, Huang was trembling as he watched his comrades fall one after another. He said he couldn't believe what was happening. His entire guild, which he had built so carefully over time, was being decimated by a single player. He muttered in disbelief, "I met him just a few days ago. Sure, he was powerful, but not powerful enough to defeat us all. What's happening in this game world? How can one person be so strong?" Fei Hu added that it didn't even feel like he was fighting a player. "It's like I'm facing the strongest demon from hell. He doesn't care about anything, he just kills." Just then, Lin Yuan turned toward Huang, who immediately panicked. He pleaded for his life, "Please, don't kill me. I'm sorry for bothering you. From now on, my guild and I will never cross paths with you again. Please forgive us, just this once." But Lin Yuan didn't stop. He walked straight toward Huang and drove his sword into his head. He coldly said, "You liked seeing others tremble in fear, didn't you? You enjoyed killing them, so tell me, how does it feel now to be on the receiving end? If you enjoyed watching others suffer, you must be enjoying this too." And with that, he finished Huang off. Lin Yuan then looked down at him and muttered, People like you, it's better if you're not powerful. Otherwise, you'd just become a threat to humanity. As he scanned the area, Lin Yuan noticed a bee-like bot still live streaming the entire event. Oh, I almost forgot. We have an audience. Honestly, I'm not a fan of attention. I prefer peace and quiet. Then, without hesitation, he destroyed the bot as well. Now this place finally feels better. This is the kind of peace I like. The scene shifted to a massive building where people were still buzzing about Lin Yuan. They were amazed. That guy was so cool. After destroying the guild, he even took down the streaming bot. And did you hear what he said at the end? He just wanted peace. Another remarked, the most incredible part is that such an amazing player has appeared, and yet we know nothing about him. A few others recalled that they might have seen this player before. Isn't he the one who defeated the first world boss of the game? No doubt about it. He's the hero of Gravel Desert. Many were becoming his fans. Someone even mentioned that the mercenary guild had sent him a S-rank invitation to join. The scene shifts, and we see a guy who is reading the game stream's chat. He whispered, Lin Yuan, I'll remember you. We'll meet very soon. Scene shifts to Gravel Town. Lin Yuan's master was shown peacefully napping. As Lin Yuan approached, the old man opened his eyes and said with a smile, Kid, you're back again. What do you want to learn this time? Last time you mastered the soul flame and other techniques. To be fair, I'm not teaching you anything today. I've got plenty of money and I'm exhausted. Come back tomorrow. I'll probably be broke by then, and maybe then I'll teach you something. Lin Yuan replied, Master, I need to speak with you. At that moment, he cancelled his profession concealment. His identity as a necromancer was now clearly visible to everyone. Quincy, clearly annoyed, sneered, So, you're a necromancer, and you have the guts to show yourself in front of me? As Quincy prepared his attack, he recalled that over the years, he had dragged necromancers to their deaths, and had never met one who dared face him. He accused Lin Yuan of learning magic from him despite being a necromancer, and swore that this time Lin Yuan would not escape alive. Quincy unleashed a deadly attack, but before it could hit, Lin Yuan vanished. Shocked, Quincy realized that his lightning strike, one of the fastest magical attacks, had been dodged. He wondered how a necromancer could have evaded it. Suddenly, Lin Yuan appeared behind Quincy and placed a sword at his neck. He remarked that there was a time when Quincy had been extremely powerful, but in his current condition, he couldn't match him. Lin Yuan suggested that if Quincy had calmed down, they could sit and talk. Quincy noted that Lin Yuan had stopped his attack midway, which meant he did not intend to kill him. Curious, he asked what Lin Yuan wanted. At that moment, Lin Yuan recalled Doug Wayne's words from the past. Doug Wayne had told him that since he was going to see Quincy, he should take some important information. Doug Wayne couldn't help much, but he could at least share a story from 10 years ago. Back then, the Lord of Darkness had grown dominant, threatening the immortal world. Diseases spread everywhere, and the world faced its darkest time. To bring justice, Quincy and his wife had stepped forward to fight. They faced the Lord of Darkness's most powerful follower. Quincy and his wife, the most powerful mages of that era, were considered unbeatable. In the battle, they killed the necromancer, but before dying, he cursed Quincy's wife. Her soul was corrupted and overtaken by darkness, causing her to lose all her memories and transform into a monster beyond redemption. Since Quincy was severely injured at the time, he couldn't save her. The only way to break the curse was to destroy her corrupted soul, which would restore her. However, Quincy lost his powers in that battle, so much that he couldn't even hold a sword. Everyone believed he was too weak to save his wife, and that he would live the rest of his life in sorrow, abandoning thoughts of revenge. Then one day, Quincy posted a mysterious mission. Anyone who could save his wife would receive his entire fortune. If a necromancer saved her, Quincy would also give them the method to break the darkness perception, a technique he had learned from the powerful necromancer he once defeated. In truth, this reward was bait. Quincy knew only necromancers could save his wife, and that their greatest weakness was the darkness perception. He was certain they would come for the method, fall into his trap, and die. It wasn't Quincy's plan to kill the necromancers himself, but rather to have his wife kill them. So far, 158 people had accepted the mission, and none had returned alive, whether necromancer or ordinary human. In the present, Lin Yuan told Quincy he had come for the mission. Quincy, realizing this, said he had no reason to attack and admitted he had been waiting for someone to accept it. He handed the mission to Lin Yuan. The system notified Lin Yuan that he had received a mission from Quincy, titled Wife's Dead Soul. It was a silver-grade mission, with a 10-day time limit. Lin Yuan accepted. Quincy wished him good luck, saying he hoped Lin Yuan could complete it, though inwardly he thought the young man was walking toward his death, as no one had ever returned from his wife's side. The scene shifted to Gravel Town, where the memorial of the dead came into view. Lin Yuan had entered the memorial, using night vision to see clearly even in the darkness. He thought to himself that the memorial had 5 floors in total. All the NPCs from the town were buried on the first floor. As he pondered this, a zombie suddenly crawled out from a coffin, only to be instantly destroyed by his scorpion companion. Lin Yuan noted that the monsters became stronger on each floor. Zombies on the first floor were level 1 to 3, the second floor housed level 4 to 6 skeletal monsters, the third floor had level 7 to 9 ghost monsters, and the fourth floor contained level 10 ghouls. He recalled hearing that most people attempting this mission never made it past the fourth floor. In his mind, the first 3 floors were a waste of time. He decided to go directly to the fourth floor and hunt the ghouls there. Arriving at the fourth floor, he observed his surroundings. It was eerily quiet, too quiet for a place supposedly crawling with monsters. Then faint noises began to echo through the darkness. Lin Yuan realized the ghouls had started moving. On the walls, the creatures crept forward slowly, thinking that the darkness concealed them from him. They believed they could sneak up for a surprise attack, but Lin Yuan could see their every movement. Signaling his scorpion, he ordered an attack. The scorpion smashed through one enemy with a single blow, and then used its poison tail to strike multiple foes. Lin Yuan advanced, cutting through them with speed, mocking their failed ambush. One by one, he killed them all, until a ghoul managed to get uncomfortably close. Striking it down, he remarked that it had almost succeeded in sneaking up on him, but in the end, it was caught. The system congratulated him for killing many level 10 ghouls and announced he had leveled up to 12. Lin Yuan reflected that he had expected this floor to take longer, but it was over quickly. Unfortunately, all the enemies here were undead, meaning he couldn't revive any of them for his own use. If they had been normal monsters, he could have gained several powerful summons. As he was thinking, he sensed something approaching from behind. Before he could fully react, a powerful, strange attack struck him, blocking it. He wondered aloud what was going on and who had launched the strike. The force of the attack didn't harm his body but carried him away, straight to another location. When he regained his footing, he saw he was no longer on the fourth floor. In front of him stood a coffin bound with chains. He suspected the attack had brought him to the 5th floor. There, Quincy's wife awoke. She said she had been waiting for someone to arrive for a long time and was glad he had come. She complained about being bored with the dry and tasteless prey she had been feeding on, and today, she would finally enjoy fresh blood. The system identified her as the Cursed Spirit, a level 18 Lord rank monster, Quincy's wife, and the final boss. Lin Yuan confirmed to himself that he was indeed on the 5th floor, facing the ultimate enemy of this mission. Quincy's wife taunted him, saying he looked young and would be especially enjoyable to devour. She threatened to tear him apart piece by piece and then launched a deadly attack. Lin Yuan blocked it with his sword. She followed up by using tentacles to strike again, but he skillfully dodged each blow. Lin Yuan realized that Quincy's wife's tentacles were coated in poison. Even a single accidental touch could weaken him severely during battle. Now he understood why no one who had come here before had ever survived. She wasn't just a level 18 monster, her attacks were also lethally dangerous. Destroying one of her tentacles, Lin Yuan declared that such attacks would not work on him. If she truly wanted to injure him, she would have to try much harder. With that, he severed all of her tentacles, forcing her to retreat. Regaining her balance, Quincy's wife grew furious. She cursed at him, promising that he would not leave alive and that she would end him completely. The system announced that the boss monster had activated a summoning skill, one that allowed her to call forth other creatures. Lin Yuan wondered if her summoning ability worked like his, perhaps summoning undead. As her power spread, skeletons began to emerge from the ground. Lin Yuan realized she was summoning not only the corpses buried in the memorial but also the remains of those who had once accepted Quincy's quest and died trying to kill her. If any of those people had reached this floor before dying, they must have been incredibly powerful. Soon, the chamber began to fill with countless skeletons. Lin Yuan recalled Doug Wayne's warning that 158 people had taken this quest and none had ever returned alive. If Quincy's wife had indeed summoned all of them, the situation could quickly become dire. Her summoning abilities were more dangerous than his own. She could even reanimate mere piles of bones with ease. Realizing the threat, Lin Yuan decided to summon his own undead army. He ordered his minions to block every exit so that no undead could escape, and instructed them to stop the enemy at all costs. He knew his forces were strong enough to hold back the zombies for a while. He then commanded his kobolds to activate their blood thrust ability and rain death upon their enemies. With the skill active, the kobolds became far more powerful than before. Turning to his thunder scorpion, he told it to show everyone what it could do. The scorpion attacked with tremendous force, causing the entire building around them to collapse onto Quincy's wife. But to Lin Yuan's shock, she emerged completely unharmed. It was then he remembered, she was a ghost-type monster, physical attacks would have little to no effect on her, and using one had been a serious mistake. Still, he knew ghost types took double damage from magical attacks. That meant his Green Goblin Curse would be highly effective against her. With that thought, Lin Yuan unleashed the Green Goblin Curse at Quincy's wife, but she dodged every strike with incredible speed. Lin Yuan realized something was wrong. His attacks weren't landing, even though in their earlier encounters her speed hadn't been this high. It seemed she had grown much faster, now evading everything effortlessly. He worried that his Green Goblin Curse might not affect her at all. Meanwhile, his undead soldiers were barely holding back the zombie monsters outside. If even one door broke and they poured in, fighting here would become impossible. He knew he had to defeat Quincy's wife before that happened, because if she fell, the rest would automatically collapse. Determined, Lin Yuan pulled out a ring he had received after killing the Thunder Scorpion. Back then, he hadn't known what use the Thunder Ring would have, but now it seemed invaluable. The system informed him that the ring could paralyze any enemy for 5 seconds. Lin Yuan thought that 5 seconds would be more than enough. He clenched the ring in his fist, activated his venom, and struck Quincy's wife with a fierce blow. She had expected a physical attack and didn't bother to dodge. Her greatest mistake. The system confirmed that the target was paralyzed. Seizing the moment, Lin Yuan ordered his Green Goblin Curse forward. The curse hit her squarely, sending her flying and inflicting heavy damage. For the first time in a long while, Lin Yuan felt he was finally winning. He decided to finish the fight. He summoned his giant wolf companion, explaining that the Green Goblin Curse had slowed her speed dramatically. With the wolf's howling ability at maximum power, he could immobilize her for another 5 seconds. As the wolf howled, Quincy's wife froze again. Lin Yuan thought this another 5 seconds would be enough to end her forever. He launched a relentless barrage of attacks, determined to test how many blows she could withstand. Her health points dropped rapidly, and being paralyzed, she couldn't avoid anything. Furious, Quincy's wife unleashed her ultimate skill, Corpse Explode. Shocked, Lin Yuan realized she intended to detonate all her undead minions. Before he could react, explosions erupted throughout the tomb, destroying a large part of his own army as well. When the smoke cleared, Lin Yuan was buried under a pile of shattered undead. He admitted to himself that it was the first time he'd ever seen such a terrifying skill. He had underestimated her, thinking she could do little more than summon corpses, yet she had wiped out his forces with a single move. Quincy's wife hated losing so much that she was willing to sacrifice every NPC under her control to win. After the blast, only 3 of Lin Yuan's soldiers remained alive, the strongest of their class. Every weaker unit had been annihilated. He reflected grimly that this battle had cost him dearly, and if he didn't gain something worthwhile by killing her, his losses might never be recovered. As the fight continued, Lin Yuan urged Quincy's wife to give up, saying there was no point in struggling any longer. He admitted he knew she still had a pure soul within her, and for that reason, he asked her to calm down and accept her end. For her own good and for everyone else's, Lin Yuan unleashed the Green Goblin Curse once more, and this time, all his attacks struck Quincy's wife directly. Her health points began to plummet rapidly. The system announced that the boss monster had taken heavy damage, and had only 300 HP remaining. Moments later, the system updated again. Her HP had fallen to 200. Finally, after another round of attacks, her health reached 0, and she collapsed on the spot. The system congratulated Lin Yuan, declaring that he had defeated the tomb boss, and awarding him 800 experience points as a reward. Looking around at the battlefield, Lin Yuan reflected that everything was finally over. The place, which moments ago had been a war zone, now lay in ruins. Just then, he noticed something behind him. The true spirit of Quincy's wife appeared. She thanked the young hero for freeing her soul, saying he had done her a great service. Her spirit transformed into a ring. The system identified it as the ring of a loved one, explaining that it could never be sold because it was Quincy's engagement ring. Lin Yuan wondered aloud whether this was truly his reward. After such a long and dangerous fight, after risking his life so many times, was this all he had gained? He admitted he had expected something far more valuable. What practical use could such a ring even have? But then, a book materialized before him. Seeing it, Lin Yuan smiled, realizing that a quest this difficult could never have such a trivial reward. The system revealed that it was a gold-level skill book called Corpse Explosion, a technique that only a necromancer could learn. Lin Yuan was astonished. This was the same skill Quincy's wife had used to obliterate his undead army. He thought that if even one of her zombies had been close to him during that blast, he would have suffered serious injuries as well. He admitted that it was an extraordinary ability, one of the best he had ever seen. Reflecting further, Lin Yuan pointed out that he himself was a necromancer, yet he didn't possess such a skill. He recalled Quincy saying that the man he had killed was an important servant of the Lord of Darkness, Perhaps this explained why she had been granted such a rare and powerful ability. The system announced that the skill book was being imprinted into Lin Yuan's memory. He now possessed the corpse explosion skill, which could be used every 10 seconds. At the cost of 100 mana per use, Lin Yuan reflected that although using the skill would require sacrificing his own soldiers, it would be extremely useful against powerful enemies. He admitted to himself that this journey had been highly profitable. Later, Lin Yuan returned to Gravel Town and showed Quincy the ring he had obtained. Shocked, Quincy recognized it immediately as the engagement ring he had once given to his wife. He explained that when a soul is sealed, it loses all memories, but the fact that Lin Yuan now held this ring meant that Quincy's wife had been freed, and she must have personally given it to him. With visible sadness, Quincy regretted that he hadn't been able to witness his wife's soul being set free. Still, he found comfort in knowing that she was no longer suffering after years of torment. Lin Yuan reassured him that her soul was at peace, likely resting in heaven. Moved to tears, Quincy thanked Lin Yuan deeply. He admitted that he had never imagined bowing his head to a necromancer, a class he had always despised. Every time he encountered one, he had felt an urge to kill them, but fate had turned things around. This very necromancer had helped him resolve the greatest regret of his life. Quincy promised never to forget Lin Yuan's kindness, and swore that if Lin Yuan ever needed help, he would be there. Keeping his word, Quincy opened a box and presented Lin Yuan with a special item. As promised, it was something that would help him conceal his identity. The system identified it as the Crown of Darkness. Once worn, it would completely hide Lin Yuan's sin value and suppress any trace of his dark aura, rendering him undetectable by others. Only necromancers could use this item, and it could not be sold. Lin Yuan was astonished. Although the crown wouldn't make him stronger directly, the ability to mask his presence was a tremendous advantage. With it, he no longer had to fear knights recognizing him. Even in the main city, he would be able to move freely without being exposed. The system asked if he wished to equip the Crown of Darkness. Lin Yuan agreed immediately and placed it on his head. With a determined expression, he resolved to enter the city and gather information about the followers of the evil god. What happens next will be revealed in the next episode. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.